So we can do what's Hondo on the mic from Leo's Paradise. Random stream drop like a Dragon Ball fight. No lie, plan stream stacking up, but here's a twist in time. Freestyling on the deck like Luffy's punchlines. Up the channel's faster than Zoro sword swings. Game and pop culture, it's the chaos he brings. Talking movie reboots, superhero hype. Hondo passing the mic, now Bishop's in sight. Cutting flip screen, frame by frame, I align. Laying bass lines heavy, keep the rhythm divine. Jumping fire videos, can't keep up with the pace. Pass the mic back, Leo's leading the chase. Off the rails, no script, just a freestyle ride. Nerdcore king, let the randomness collide. Playing a nod, Leo's got the flow to entice. It's words of paradise, the chaos comes to life. No script, just a freestyle ride. Nerdcore king, let the randomness collide. Planning on Leo's got the flow to entice. It's words of paradise, the chaos comes to life. Off the rails, no script, just a freestyle ride. Nerdcore king, let the randomness collide. Planning on Leo's got the flow to entice. It's words of paradise, the chaos comes to life.
Welcome back to Lunch Hour. How are all you vital idols doing? Boy, do we have one hell of a show for you today. Obviously, we're going to continue the discussions we've been having all week. Steam censoring horror games, but it turns out we actually have some good news. We have some big dubs for the anti-censorship crew. And that's pretty awesome considering New York is on fire currently, and it's not going to go out anytime soon. Although, to be fair, that wildfire could spread to the entire rest of the U.S. when New York is too busy, devolving into cannibalism, and all the firefighters get eaten due to all the meat on their bones, and there's nobody to put out the raging fires. So yeah, we got that, some digital ID talk. We'll probably round out the stream near the end with some streamer drama because, well, we gotta find something to laugh at and have fun about and be positive about. So yeah, it's going to be a banger time. It's Thursday. It's the long stream day, baby. Let's get into it. Let's see who we got in the house. We got War Wizard for the 199. Shout out. Toby Tank. I hope you play the video of Mamdani begging for money. I don't know whether that's going to be in the, the rotation or not, but I have seen the video, and it was hilarious. LMA coming to the house with me. Yo, y'all. How you doing, LMA? Divine at Duckworth is here. My boy Tebow in the house. How you doing, Tebow? Just G. Yo, glad to, that you're listening while playing Arc Raiders. Glad you're enjoying it. Not really my kind of game, but I'm glad you're enjoying it. Gen T Maxie's in the house. Shout out. Your boy Zax. What's up? Puts the man in Manitoba. Matt Funcool. Roman is here. Tizzy is in the house. Alrighty, crew. Why don't we just get into it? Why don't we start off with the good news? Steam anti-censorship W. We covered this on Countercast on Monday, but I had a video about it on Tuesday. And now we're seeing results. Don't ever be told your voice don't matter.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so in today's video, we are going to be following up on the story about Aftermath Red Pine Lake. Now, Aftermath Red Pine Lake is an indie horror game that initially was trying to release on Steam, and that due to this picture right here, ended up getting denied access to Steam because it was considered to be too sexy, too adult.
Yes, now mind you, Steam's words, Steam's rules, what the Steam affiliate that they were talking about when trying to post the game told them was, it doesn't matter what a woman is wearing. Anything that prominently features a woman's backside would be deemed sexual content. So let's take a break from Hypno for just a moment, and let me show you guys something. Let's go over here to Madam Savvy, because she had a brilliant piece of malicious compliance. Let's see if we can scroll through it and find it here. Man, scrolling on X while live is dangerous, but we'll be fine. I'm sure the Savvy hasn't posted anything, too egregious. Here it is. I regret to inform Steam and Valve Software Half-Life 2 violates their own rule for promo material, and this must be rectified now. After all, Aftermath Z game is not allowed to have the backside of a woman shown. No game can. Because, yeah, look at Half-Life 2. Right here in the promo material. I don't know. Looks pretty similar to me. Steam said themselves it does not matter what is being shown. If it is a woman's backside, it doesn't matter what they're wearing.
Oh, to whatever. Steam ended up responding to the developers and saying, and I quote, and I'm not even kidding, that looking at a woman's behind is inherently sexual. Thus, it is not allowed on the platform unless you censored it or changed whatever the headline may be. Absolutely wild stuff. Okay. Absolutely wild stuff. And when I saw that post, I thought it was fake, which is why I didn't report on it immediately. It then come to find out, oh no, it's actually real.
I didn't think it was fake, but I did think there was more to the story. Like, so we covered it, and a game developer hit me up, a different independent game developer hit me up on X, and he was like, look, there's got to be more to this, because this is crazy, this makes no sense. And so I was sitting there thinking about it, I was like, yeah, maybe there is more to it. Maybe these guys are trying to play the victim and whatnot. But even so, me and Cindy reported on it, we did our bit on it, we did the video on it, the whole nine. But there was no evidence that there was anything more to it. Yeah, to lo and behold, nope, indie game dev was wrong. He was wrong. I'm not going to say his name. I don't want to throw one of the bus. He's a nice guy. He's got this wrong. Turns out there was nothing more to it. You guys will see why as this goes on.
And then I reported on it, and then we spoke about it, and then I realized, I started to think, well, what if this is a rogue agent at Steam? What if this is someone who
That's what I said.
Decided
That's
to
exactly
let their
what I
ideology
said.
get the best of them? But I got to be real with you. I can't really stick to that narrative. I can't really give Steam the pass because Steam has been doing this for months now.
Well, to be fair, you can stick to that narrative while also not giving Steam the pass. The pass. I think Hypno is it's not black and white. So you could have multiple rogue agents within Steam, and because of that, we have these massive censorship issues that aren't about the payment processor system, while also noting that it is not the whole of Steam. Now, do we have enough information to say one way or the other? No, we don't. I posed the rogue agent theory as well. I know you guys were talking about the rogue agent theory when we were covering this on Monday, and I do think that is the most likely scenario given what happens next.
Since the whole payment processor nonsense, as much as I love Steam and I utilize Steam, I cannot and will not allow them to get away with bullshit like they did with this developer. So let's check this out and see what Aftermath has to say, because they have an update for us, and it's very important. They said today is not the end of something, it's the start. Because on this day, we can say we won. Steam has decided to change their decision and to not censor our page.
Now, I don't know if Hypno's going to cover this, so this is why I'm going to say it just in case he doesn't. This is why the rogue, the rogue Steam agent thing does actually make sense. So the guys at Aftermath requested to get a different Steam agent, and if not, they want to speak to management, things to that effect. Steam granted their request for a different observer, overseer, whoever does the approval process of getting these games greenlit and put on Steam, and the new agent pretty much had it up instantly. Pretty much agreed to put up instantly. The game's not going to actually be wishlistable on Steam for about another 5 days or so, according to them, but we'll get to that when we get to it. But just in case Hypno doesn't cover it, if they got a new partner and it immediately got greenlit, that would say to me it is probably a rogue agent.
We stood our ground and didn't bend the knee. Going forward, we will keep fighting censorship. If we can win, so can you. We are a small team hardly anyone knew of, but we stood for what we believed in and won against the biggest platform. Now, just to break this down, I think this is super important, okay? I really do. I think that this developer wanting to fight censorship in any capacity is huge, considering what we've been dealing with for who knows how long now with, Collective Shout, MasterCard, Visa, all that nonsense that we dealt with for months. I think it's very important that they stood their ground and they decided to fight. And I think this is great. I think this is
anti-censorship sentiment is and always will be huge in things like the gaming community, the anime community, because while they are mainstream now, while anime is mainstream now, while gaming is mainstream now, it was built on being a counterculture. I would not say in any way, shape, or form that anime or video games are a counterculture now. They're not. They're part of the mainstream. But you will have people that have been in these movements, that have been in these communities, that have been in these campaigns for years upon years, that remember when it was a counterculture, and they want to stick to that sort of counterculture mentality. You got your old school punks that grew up on, Sex Pistols Generation X, and just because they thought Green Day was gay as fuck, doesn't mean they thought that punk was dead as a whole and the spirit could still be there for real punk heads and not, the corporate sellout people like Green Day.
honestly really good for them. And in terms of fighting against the biggest platform, perhaps, yes, that is true. Steam is a massive platform, but, whether the platform is big or not, they should fight regardless. And I understand it's easier to fight a smaller platform than something the size of Steam, but I appreciated the transparency and I appreciated the screenshots they provided.
It would be easier to fight a smaller platform, Hypno is correct, but you're actually going to get a lot more publicity fighting the big platform, because everybody loves an underdog story. Like, if this was happening on itch.io, look, no shade to Itch, I like Itch, but if this was happening on itch.io, I don't think it would have been near as big a story. It was the fact that these little guys were going up against Steam, and everybody loves an underdog story. We got the gaming mighty ducks up in this bitch. And so, yeah, when you see that Steam, which is a platform that is revered by gamers because it, for the most part, I get it's got its issues, and we will, of course, talk about the issues, and we have talked about the issues. But I would say that 70% of the time, Steam puts the gamer and the customer first, which is why when you see instances like this, when they don't put the gamer or the customer first, and you've got a little guy, a little company, a little indie dev team, whatnot, willing to stand up to that, that is all the key correct notes to get gamers, actual real gamers, riling up for defense.
To showcase the different levels of responses that they were getting at Steam. Whoever was their initial agent, I don't know who the fuck that was, but that person was a psychopath. But we didn't do this alone. It's because of all of you. By the way,
needs to be fired, because that was outright malicious reinterpretations of Steam's TOS. That, look, I don't give a fuck when people lose their jobs. If they lose their jobs for a verifiable, justifiable reason. Obviously, you fire a dude purely based on, their skin color or whatever. Yeah, I'm not cool with that. But this individual clearly decided to manipulate and skirt the rules and the objectives of what the TOS is for Steam and for games that be on Steam. That, in my opinion, should be a fireable offense. We'll never know if something like that happens. We'll never know if there was even any sort of punishment taken. For all we know, this same rogue Steam agent will be there forevermore, and they'll continue to try this shit on other games in the future. That being said, if I had it my way, fire that motherfucker.
Around the world, you told us to keep going, and you stood with us. We are so grateful for you all, and we won't stop now. We have a growing community, so thank you for that light in the dark. We don't have to be scared of censorship anymore. Without developers making games, they have no income. Without you, the players, they have no power. Now let us show what we could do without the restrictions. This drama and even the memes, that was a little bit fun. But with our creations, we have a long way to go. But stick with us. Give us a chance, and we will give it our all. This isn't over. It's the start.
Stand up to censorship. Based. Absolutely. Oh, you'll love to see it. I hope the game is still in development. They're going to throw some nudges and nods and some shade during the game. Maybe you can find, it's a horror game, so I'm sure you're going to be picking up files, right? I'm sure you're going to be finding files to expand on the story. Maybe they'll throw some sort of file in there that's about some corporate espionage, and then, it's just some, rogue actor within the corporation trying to do what they can to, minimize their power. They just some sort of douchey little homage to this situation. Hey, shout out to the sub, Clarence.
So, again, fantastic. Super happy for them. They actually do end up showcasing another screenshot, I suppose, that we're going to go over right now. It says from Steam support, thank you for your patience here. After further evaluation, we don't think your graphical assets rise to the level of maturity in those linked guidelines. So we've approved them for release. Now,
this was literally just hours, and I repeat, hours, maybe a day after they requested a new Steam partner. Okay, because I remember we covered their tweets, or maybe we didn't cover the tweets. Maybe I was just looking at them on my own. I don't recall. But we covered their posts talking about requesting a new Steam partner. Then this happens. Hours later, day later tops. Which goes to show it was an individual at Steam being malicious. Now, that doesn't mean that they're the only one, and that's why I get when Hypno says he can't just defend Steam. Who knows how many rogue agents are at Steam? But clearly, this is not the actual policy of the platform and of the company.
Keep in mind, the assets they're talking about is the literal ass sets that you see on screen. Like that, this is what they decided to say was extremely sexual, right? Or sexual in nature, whatever the case may be. It's like, bro, you really are trying to say this about a one-piece bathing suit? Are you that prudish? Like, what the fuck? Anyway, we are going to be posting more about this below. We have a lot of questions we are working through with them, but don't want to post until we have all the answers, just so it's accurate. Also, it says reviewing on our end, but we have to be assured that they will sort that out. So in good faith, we have made this post. So as of right now, it's still in review. So they haven't actually followed through with allowing the game to go through, right?
So they did follow up, and this is the post. Now, I commented on this post right here. I commented on this post. I told them, like, look, and I see what Tebow in the chat's saying, and to be fair, that is a fair criticism, being like, you know, the game could be dog shit. It could be have AI used in the creative functions. It could be, you know, just shovelware slop. It could just be simple asset flips. All that could be true. However, on the principle of standing up to censorship, I'm going to be buying this game. I am. I'm going to wishlist the game when it's live. I'm going to buy it when it comes out. Based on the principle of just showing that, rewarding the idea of standing up to censorship. That doesn't mean the game will be good, and if the game is not good, I'll be honest in my review and in my conversation about the game itself. But they did what other companies may not have done. You know, so many other companies may have just bent the knee and you know, change their art or change their assets or whatever it is. So based on the merit of me loving the idea of what their beliefs are, what their core values are, I will purchase the game. I will also be honest about the game when I play it.
If you see, this person posted just a follow-up, okay? The page might not be up for 5 days. This is due to having to resubmit, but they have assured us it would go through. This is a technical issue rather than a restriction.
So, Jeremiah says, doesn't mean rogue agent. In my opinion, Steam is scared. Doesn't matter. That's a rogue agent. I don't give a fuck how scared they are. This was clearly within TOS. This was clearly within TOS. So if you've got some dumb bitch there, whether they were making this decision for their own ideological reasons, or whether it was because they were scared of MasterCard, Visa, the payment processors, doesn't matter. This fell under TOS. There was no violation. So by them blatantly denying this game, and the reason them giving is bullshit, they can use the we're scared of payment processor shit all they want. It doesn't matter. They broke their own rules, admittedly, and the payment processors had nothing to do with it. So yes, rogue agent.
We shall see. We have asked for clarity on what the rules actually are. Are 18+ game pages censored now, or was this false information? Was it 2 rogue employees? Will this happen again? Is the statement about behinds regarding of clothes being sexual Steam's actual belief? This is really what I want to know. I want to know this one right here. Does Steam truly believe that a woman's ass, whether, you know, covered or not covered, is inherently sexual and cannot?
No, they don't. And we know they don't, as I showed off on the video, on the live stream, that I accidentally showed full-on titties from Steam in that. There's a game coming out, and I don't remember the name of it. Some fucking shovelware hentai fighting game. I don't remember the name of it, but I used it. I pulled it up as an example. If you just go into Steam right now, and type in swimsuit and hit enter, one of the very first upcoming options, I believe it's like the second one on the list, is a full-on hentai game, hentai fighting game with titties flopping about. And guess what? That game, the release date is to be announced, TBA. So this game has it's up to be wishlistable, but it doesn't even have a set release date. So that means this game was approved for release on Steam without a release date, while it's still being worked on the developers in the back end, and has full nudity blatantly in its advertisements on the Steam page, full nudity, not just titties, vagina, everything, and it got approval. So no, clearly this is not Steam's belief. That's what leads this being a rogue agent.
Be shown, because if this is what Steam believes, that's a problem. That's a major issue in my opinion. And it's something that a lot of people don't want to explore because they love Steam. And again, I want to reiterate, I love Steam. I do. It's my platform of choice. I love Steam. But this is a very important question that needs an answer. And I really hope that Steam answers, because Steam likes to stay quiet. Steam likes to not do the whole like public thing. They're a private company, so they like to keep everything in-house, obviously, as much as possible. But they need to answer for this, because what that person said is fucking ridiculous. Everybody knows it's ridiculous. So I hope they give an official answer. This person says, thank you very much. We're looking forward to Steam's explanation for this embarrassing and unprofessional service. If it gets on Steam, it'll be a definite buy, or at least look and decide at that point in time. Copy that. One more question you should ask. If this was rogue employees, will they be fired? They're never going to answer that.
Yeah, they anybody, won't. Correct. Like,
anybody looking for Steam to answer whether or not they fired an employee or not, it's not going to happen, boys. Like, let's stop looking at Steam, and thinking they're actually going to be that transparent, because they're not going to.
Now, to be fair, they're not going to say whether they were fired, but we have seen companies make public statements saying, the appropriate steps will be taken to ensure this never again, or it never happens again, or after the shooting of Charlie Kirk, after the assassination of Charlie Kirk, you had all these people that were making these jokes. You had like school teachers and whatnot making jokes. You did have businesses and school districts come out saying their punishment has been they've given out some sort of punishment, or some of them flat out did say, we can assure you this individual will no longer be part of our school board. Like, I don't think they're gonna fire the dude or chick or whatever, or them, knowing fucking people in the gaming industry nowadays. I don't think they're gonna fire them for this. I wish they would. I think they should. But I don't know that it's impossible to say we'll get a statement. I do think it's highly, highly unlikely.
Be that transparent. This person says, will we get those lives to speak up? Keep pressure on them, and they will deal with Master and Visa card next. I'm guessing rogue employees, the Nexus mods effect. I really don't think it's rogue employees. I know people want to say it is because they, they just flat out don't want to admit Steam is capable of this. But Steam is capable of this, man. That's just what it is. As much as...
Well, yeah, Steam is capable. I don't get where Hypno is getting this no rogue employees thing. I'm going to be real. Because two things can be true. You can have rogue employees at Steam, and because of that, that makes Steam capable of this, without this being the overarching common sentiment at Steam. Again, as shown by the fact that their new agent did immediately approve the process. As shown by the fact that that game I pulled up on Steam just Monday did have approval and was going forward. Like, this is a case of, I think it was Tebow said in the chat earlier, two things can be true. So, yeah, I think Hypno is wrong here in not calling it a rogue agent.
We may love Steam. Unfortunately, ever since the MasterCard thing, this is what it is. Loga says, they are chickens, I told you, and I'm still mad at them for banning Lover Kiss Endless Memories. We are not done with your ass, Steam. I have to make sure.
And I covered this. I covered the blatant censorship of this exact game, like, fuck, was it Friday? Like, this is another very recent example of censorship, and yeah, I covered this on Friday, 100%. Now, this one did seem to, with the information we have currently, be a payment processor thing, because payment processors are disproportionately coming down on Japanese properties, Japanese games, anime, manga, things to that effect. Like, there's a disproportionate amount of censorship being done by the payment processors for Japanese media. So I don't know that this particular instance is because of Steam. We don't have enough evidence to say one way or the other. However, if it is Steam and not the payment processors, then yeah, that needs to be addressed.
This girl was clothed before I scrolled down. If they're not work, is not done. Obviously, I congratulate them. Will the fan said, good job, Steam. This is the winner.
Look at all these bigots.
Smash AT says, let's fucking go. Chibi says, glad to see a happy ending to the story. Kyle says, good. Disgusting says, this is an example of what happens when you stand with the gaming community and have integrity. Congrats. Death Metal says, congratulations. I respect and support you for standing your ground and not taking a knee to censorship. I will purchase your game when it becomes available. It's one of those things that they do deserve a lot of praise and a lot of support for actually standing their ground, because they were given the opportunity to censor the picture. And most developers probably would have, because they want to put their game out at the expected release date for the game, and they want to make their money back. I mean, that's obvious, right? But
I'm going to disagree with Jeremiah again in the chat. Don't even bother with Collective Shout. And here's why. And I don't know if you've been watching my content for a while. I don't know if you've seen me do other streams or videos on it. Collective Shout are nobodies. We don't even need to bother going after them. They're worthless. Collective Shout is they are a red herring. They want people to go after Collective Shout. Explain to me how some obscure, small-time feminist group in Australia has the power to make the payment processors change their policies and bend the knee. They don't. Somebody else is pulling the strings behind Collective Shout. And if we can bring down Collective Shout all we want, whoever's pulling the strings behind the scenes, they'll just move on to some other front-facing company. No, we need to attack the payment processors, and we need to find out who's controlling things on the back end, and that's who we need to go after. Collective shouts are literally a front. They're something they want us to focus on, that because they're a minion. They're a small piece of the pie. So yes, go after the payment processors, and we need to do our digging, which I've tried to do, and I'm having a real hard time doing it. Finding the people that do the backing for people like Collective Shout. Follow the money.
The fact that they said, nope, we're going to stick our ground and we're going to fight this through to the end, regardless of whether or not we make money right now.
That was Silent Hill, not Resident Evil.
I think that's a great thing. And I think developers need to do more of that when it comes to this censorship nonsense. Will Luigi says, congrats on the soon-to-release release. We did it. Time to celebrate. Jace obviously says, bravo. Awesome. Congrats. Can't wait to see the game's release. Hey, Steam, who's that Karen that you got working for you? I think they need a good boot out the door. Thank you, Steam. This was the right decision. Most of all, thank you, Aftermath Z Game, for not backing down. We need more like you. I agree. I'm going to like that post. We absolutely need more like them. Emerald Apple says, nice. Now Valve needs to get rid of the Karen that caused the problem in the first place. How do you know it's a Karen? How do you know it's a female? Could be a male. Obviously, I get the joke. I get the sentiment. But this whole situation with this game is ridiculous. And I'm just glad that at least it came out into public light. Everybody could see what Steam supposedly stood for. And the truth is that even though this game is going to be released on Steam, if Steam does not respond about the issues this game faced and the comments that were made about their employee, this will only continue to get worse. This will only seriously continue to get much worse. So we'll see what ends up happening with this video game. But as of right now, it's going to be released on Steam. They're going to be able to get through. Hopefully, nothing changes. And we shall see. Deb says, you made some waves. They gave up. Infinity Arc says, excellent to hear. There is never a good reason for censorship. It never leads anywhere good. We should fight it tooth and nail at every opportunity. I agree. This is insane that this was something we needed to fight over for you guys. For some Karen was busy being a Karen. Happy for you guys, though. It only took a crap ton of bad PR on their part with the hypocrisy that they've shown, LOL, but I'm glad it's been one for you all. Yeah, the hypocrisy is crazy, by the way. On Steam, even for some of their own games, if you go to Half-Life 2 and you look at a screenshot, there is a screenshot for Half-Life 2 of Alex in jeans, right? The female facing off into the distance, looking off into the distance, and the camera is literally from her behind, right? From her ass. So you mean to tell me that's inherently sexual? Because you said it doesn't matter whether it's clothed or not. So is that sexual? Like, there's so many questions that you could potentially bring up, and they know it. So you guys let me know in the comments down below. What do you think about this entire situation between Steam and this particular video game? Do you think Steam is going to change their mind? Do you think it was a rogue employee? Do you think it was Steam overall? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. And if you enjoyed it, consider hitting that like and subscribe. And I will see you guys on the next one.
Excellent video from Hypno. Yeah, excellent video from Hypno. I'm going to go ahead and drop this in the chat. For whatever reason you guys aren't subbed to it, make sure you do so. Drop it a like, the whole nine. As for me, first of all, this is not a one-off. This will continue to happen, and I'm sure it's happened before, and it didn't get the mainstream publicity that this got. I mean, I wouldn't call this mainstream publicity, but it didn't get the publicity amongst gamers. And why is that? Because many developers aren't willing to stand up to Steam. They're willing to go ahead and bend the knee. So that's why this is such a crucial case. The idea that this small dev team looked Steam in the eye and said, fuck you, this is not okay. And I'm here for it. I'm going to support that. I will be buying this game purely on principle. Like I said, when I do my review, when I do my playthrough, I will be brutally honest as to whether it's good or bad or has issues or whatnot. I mean, look, I've had some good conversations with Abu Bakr Salim, the dude behind Dead Take and the spear checking game. Oh my God, Tales of Kenzera Zal. I just 100% completed Dead Take yesterday, and I was very honest about my review. I gave it a 6.5 out of 10. And I tagged him in the review on X. He liked the post. He took the criticism, and that's much appreciated. So, that being said, when this game comes out, it's still going to be fairly reviewed by me. But based on how they handled this situation, I will 100% be purchasing it on the merits of that alone. Yeah, so when we see issues like this, we need to support these companies that are not going to bend the knee. We need to keep watching Steam like a hawk. We need to make sure that they do not bow and kowtow to the idiocy that is these modern PC culture and censorship. Obviously the payment processors, these global governments that want to force a new social change the world over. It's going to be an uphill battle, but we need to take the dubs like these as we can find them, and continue to report on them, because, you know, look, the good news, yeah, it doesn't track as well, or doesn't get as much goodwill towards it. But, you know, people want to be perpetually outraged at times. Like, it makes sense. That being said, it's very important to talk about the dubs. They rebuild morale. You can only do so much negativity all the time, and you know, it's gonna eventually, if it looks like you're never winning, if it looks like you're never advancing, eventually morale fades and people just move the fuck on, and that's what allows us to get in these negative situations. So always point out the W's. I think this was a W. I'm very excited to see this. I can't wait to see where this goes even further. And these are just my opinions. Let me know yours in the comments down below. Let me know on X. You can find me at Bolt the Word. And please do subscribe. I'm a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news every day. Not always about the gaming industry, but anime, movies, music, Magic the Gathering, you name it. Check me out on Instagram at wordsparadise_Leon. And become a member for $4.99 a month. You can join the Discord. Choose the articles you go over on a day-to-day basis. Choose the videos we react to on the daily live streams. And of course, get involved with over 200 other vital idols. We are a bright, beautiful, glowing, vibrant community that I cannot wait to go even further. Because we do care about diversity. Only one kind of diversity. Diversity of thought. That's interesting to you. Join the Discord. Hit subscribe. And until next time, it's all here in the Nerdosphere. This has been Words of Paradise. Clearly, we're not finished yet. We're 30 minutes into the stream. But that's probably going on the gaming channel. I'm thinking on the gaming channel, I'm going to start uploading stream clips where we talk about gaming. Because I don't do a lot of gaming updates on the main channel anymore, just because a lot of information to me, like, it's kind of old, it's stale. Like, you can only talk about Sweet Baby Inc so many times before it's just like the same old, it gets boring. But I do think I am going to start putting stuff like this on the gaming channel. By the way, if you guys didn't know, I did start a gaming channel a few months ago. I haven't done much with it. I've just done a few live streams. But I'm probably going to start mixing live streams along with stream clips like this. So, point is, check that out. If you haven't subbed to my gaming channel, check that out. I'd truly appreciate it. You can go to my main channel, and it's, you know, all the links and descriptions and stuff like that are there. So, that being said, alrighty, let's go on immediately with issue numero dos. Digital ID is coming for all of us. Think of the children. Let's talk about some digital ID. Let's talk about the biggest existential threat to the internet since dead internet theory.
Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon, again, Geeky Sparkles sitting this video out. I swear to God, she's coming back for videos today. She was just out yesterday, but I wanted to talk about this. This is a follow-up to a video we did a couple days ago where we were talking about how VPNs were likely to be outlawed, or they were going to push to outlaw VPNs.
I didn't watch the original video on this, but I do agree with that. I do think there will. First of all, that movement has already taken place in the UK. There's already a lobbying movement to ban VPNs in the UK. I don't think it would work in America, but I definitely think it will be attempted in America.
In a push for increased security online to protect your children. And now Russia is moving to mandate state biometric IDs for online age verification. So
this doesn't surprise me at all. Like, the fact that Russia wasn't the first to do this, the fact that we saw this from, like, Australia and the UK before Russia is actually more surprising than Russia being involved at all.
It's not enough to say, hey, I'm 12 years old. Like, apparently they need your biometrics. I mean, this is getting pretty crazy, right? And people are... I'd say people would push back on it, but I think people are just, they're sheep.
Not in Russia. People definitely won't push back. You push back on this in Russia, you're going to get your head cut off, son. They're going to drive you somewhere in the middle of the Siberian tundra, drop your ass off, and drive away. Good luck, son. Yeah. No. Now, are people going to push back on this in America? No. No. I wish. Look, I know that many of y'all don't want to hear it, and this isn't necessarily for my chat. Maybe you guys will. I will. Obviously, like, I don't even have a real ID yet. I can't fly right now. I can't fly. I don't know how I'm going to make it to MegaCon. I don't know how I'm going to make it to go hang out with Foxy Moxie in December and Gooch in December if I end up making that, attempting to make that trip. Because I don't have real ID. I think real ID is unconstitutional. The idea that we need some sort of special license to fly besides our regular driver's license is absolutely bullshit and unconstitutional to me. So no, I don't even have a real ID. I have no idea how I'm going to be traveling in the future. Will I have to eventually capitulate and bend the knee because for the benefit of the channel, my business, will I have to do that? I don't know. It's something I'm struggling with and I'm wrestling with. But the point I'm getting at with all this is that while I might not be capitulating tracking to currently as it stands the digital ID stuff. And while you guys might not as well, in America in general, yep, nope, people are going to, they'll bitch about it, they'll moan about it, they'll throw a fit, but then they'll do it anyway. They'll realize that they don't have a choice, the government's too powerful, and they'll have to do it anyway.
At this point, and they'll just go along with it. And I think we're going to see this all over the place, where age verification to use the internet becomes the norm, and you will let these companies scan you, even your physical body, to verify that you're of a certain age. But really, it's about tracking you. This is all about tracking you, tagging you, like sheep,
cattle,
tagging you like an animal, so we can follow you all over the place and see what you do and what you say and what you buy and who you're with and your politics. And again, it's very, very 1984. It's very, very dystopian, and people are going to allow it. The pandemic taught me that people are much dumber than we give them credit for, right? That they will do whatever the government tells them to do, and they will actually fight hard against people.
No, Sebrew, the reason they have to scan ID at Kroger's and places like that, and like my local gas station, they scan ID because they have what's called secret shoppers that come in, and these secret shoppers come in, and they're employed by the company. So let's say you've got a Come and Go, right? Come and Go is the name of the gas station, and you've got these secret shoppers that come in. Really, they're employees of the company, and they buy things that they're specifically supposed to check the ID for. And if they don't scan the ID, proving that they checked it, they are fined. Like, the entire business is fined by the government. So scanning the ID is basically just a way for them to prove they're doing their jobs and they don't get these fines. That way they're not like selling beer and cigarettes and stuff to underage people, which would be against the law. Now, do I agree with that? No, I think that's invasive as well. But I'm not going to get super conspiratorial about scanning IDs, because that is based on existing laws when it comes to selling illegal goods and services to underage individuals.
Who say
I know you're, but right, here's the dealio, Sebrew. If you check an ID and it's of age, that could be a fake ID. You can't scan a fake ID and it pass the scanning process. Again, I think that's invasive. I think it's wrong. I'm not a fan of it. I'm just saying the logical reason, in practice, why it works.
Hey, maybe we should ask a couple more questions.
Yo, shout out,
and they'll
Lucy.
become weaponized. They will turn on you because they're defending the state. Right? Because that's what they've been trained to think, is that the government has your best interests in mind. These corporations have your best interests in mind. And what is going to happen is this is going to be snuck in under the guise of protecting the children.
That's what they always do. That's what they always... I don't know how many of y'all are old enough to remember. It's like 2009, maybe 2011 at the latest. There was this proposed bill called net neutrality. And net neutrality was going to be a basically socializing the internet. Net neutrality was going to be socializing the internet, full-on internet socialism. And that shit got shut the fuck down in the House and the Senate or whatnot. So a couple years will go by, not even a couple years, very quickly after, almost immediately after, they roll out net neutrality 2.0, protecting children from protecting children from trafficking and pornography. Basically, they posed the net neutrality 2.0 bill as a way to minimize children being trafficked into sex slavery. That's not what the bill was about at all. However, how do you look as a politician if you vote no on a bill that's being propped up by the media as being a way to safeguard children from falling into sex trafficking? You look like a sex trafficker. It's very, very simple. So yeah, the Think of the Children movement, that is the government's ace in the hole for passing unconstitutional freedom-sapping laws.
Russia's doing it now. Yeah, okay, it's pretty dystopian over in Russia. Well, it doesn't affect us, does it, over here in the States? Well, yeah, it actually does, because now Roblox and YouTube and all these other services, I think Facebook might be doing it, they want to do age verification too. And UK is trying to say that minors are using VPNs. Yeah, I'm sure lots of 8-year-olds know how to use a VPN. They're using VPNs to access sites they shouldn't be accessing. And really, it's about making sure we know who you are, where you are.
Let's say they are. Let's say they are. Let's say you got 8-year-old little Timmy using Surfshark to watch porn. Oh well. Parents. Parent better. That's all the parents. It's not on Big Daddy government to be a fucking nanny state. Now, first of all, I doubt we got a whole lot of 8-year-olds out there using VPNs to watch Debbie Does Dallas 3. All right, first of all, I bet that sort of shit would scare them. They don't know what it's like for women to have bush, because this was the 80s. But that's neither here nor there. Fact of the matter is, if you got an 8-year-old out there using a VPN and they're watching porno or whatever, that's a parent problem. Government needs to shut the fuck up, take a step back, and let the goddamn parents do their job.
And it's a very different internet. And I said the other day, and I stand by what I said, I almost feel like we need to build a parallel internet that's more like the internet from the late 90s, early 2000s. Like, I get a lot of bullshit happens when you have a lot of...
Yeah, War Wizard says, Bush, the good old days. Here's the dealio. There ain't nothing wrong with Bush. It's just like anything else. It needs to be kept up and trimmed and proper. Like, it's just a health thing. Bush is great, but take care of it. You know, don't be having no fucking jungle down there.
Anonymous accounts. I get that. But the flip side of that is we let the government and the corporations track our every move. And, cookies, Google cookies, that was, step one. And this is, I believe, a lot more insidious. And again, people are just going to accept it as fact. It's the way it is, right? We are all given a number. If you want to use the internet, you got to have a good social credit score. And you got to make sure that, you're not saying things online that you ought not be saying, and that you're not giving political hot takes that are too hot. And, if you're of a certain age...
Political takes that are too hot, such as, I don't know, Zohran Mamdani is a Muslim and the religion of Islam is 100% pro-pedophilia? Political takes like that? That New York may or may not have just elected a government that may or may not be A-OK with the sexual abuse of children? Just saying, that's what his good old book says, and you can't even get mad at me for that, because that's factually accurate.
Maybe. If you're real nice and you pay an exorbitant fee every month, if you're real nice, we'll let you on the internet to live, basically, to do your banking, do your shopping, pay your healthcare bill, all these things that people have to do, pay your utility bills. You're not going to be able to do any of that unless you are an upright citizen. That's what I think this is all headed toward. And that is, again, you can draw your own conclusions. But for those of you who are, I think, of religious persuasion, there are warnings against centralizing everything and being able to only, buy and sell if you have meet certain criteria, right? I'm just saying. Normally, I don't go down that path, but there's definitely...
But that path is unavoidable at this point. Like, you're going to have individuals in the content creation space that would normally not talk about this sort of thing that are going to have to. Dude, imagine you run a cooking channel, right? Imagine you run a cooking channel and you are forced to do age verification to buy general cooking supplies because you can't buy fucking knives. You can't buy a nice set of Emerald Gazi knives without putting in your biometric ID. All of a sudden, Uncle Roger gonna be an anti-woke channel because he's gonna be throwing a fit about digital ID.
Something up. I just saying. And it's not, and I talk about this with AI too, it's not the AI itself, it's not the technology itself you have to be afraid of. It's who's wielding it and for what purpose.
Correct.
They're wielding it. And the pandemic, to me, felt like a trial run for something else. And this might, again, it's just a theory.
They were.
He's
100% correct. I don't give a fuck if it sounds conspiratorial. The pandemic was a trial run. Dude, they had at least, bare minimum, 50% of the U.S. population terrified to go outside from a virus that had a 99.98% recovery rate. Non-mortality, non-fatality rate. People lick the boot of Big Daddy government for a fucking cold. Absolutely, that was a trial run to see if these sheep would fall in line.
be that something else. So let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Geeky is not here, but she's here in spirit, and this seems like kind of I go from like dark and dystopian to, hey, Geeky Sparkles is having a glittery Christmas party, pin party. We've got a couple days left on these. For the initial funding, we're going to leave the campaign open on Kickstarter for probably a week or two. But we need to get in our estimated orders to get that to the manufacturer to get these out to you before Christmas, because it takes about a month or so to get the pins back.
Yeah, I got COVID 2 or 3 times, Matt, and I'm fine.
So check it out on Kickstarter.
And I'm a pure blood. No vaccines up in this bitch. No vaccines up in this bitch. Pure blooded as fuck, son. I got COVID 3 times. Your boy's fine.
You got about 2 or 3 days. You got Geeky Sparkle Vision Christmas Party glitter, retro enamel pins. We got ornaments. We got reindeers and Santas. And we got this little space age Santa. I did him. Chat. That's the only one I did. And the geeky art, I did that. You can also pick up a clownfish pin. So check that out. The geeky pin has been unlocked, and I'm actually going back and forth with the pin manufacturer on the colors for that, because we're limited in how many colors we can use. And so we gotta get all that.
Yeah, all right, Tebow, if you've never had any vaccines, you're right, you got me beat. I haven't gotten vaccines since playing sports in high school. That was the last time I got vaccines, playing sports in high school.
Settled, but once that's settled, I'll get that artwork up and you can see what you're getting, and that's going to be glitter to her dress with the snowflakes and all that's going to be glittery. Anyway, let's get back into something a little more serious. So this, I saw it on Pirate Nation. On X has been covering this. Russia is moving to mandate state biometric IDs for online age verification. And this was a week ago on Tech Radar. Age verification could soon land in Russia, putting already precarious internet freedom on the line. Maybe I'll go this version.
What do you mean precarious internet freedoms? Russia don't have precarious internet freedoms. They got no freedom. There's nothing precarious about it. It's fucking Russia.
Because biometrics, I mean, that's kind of horrifying too, right? Like, we need to scan your body to make sure you're actually underage. And that just has some creepy connotations. Russia's considering mandatory online age verification. It's going to happen, guys. Internet users would need to prove their age to access 18-plus content. The move echoes similar laws enforced in the UK and the US. Mandatory age verification is arriving everywhere, with Russian lawmakers becoming the latest to consider age-gating online content. On October 21st, a member of the Russian Civic Chamber, and I cannot pronounce these names, is it Yevgeny Masharov, proposed a plan to force, I'm going to zoom in on that, to force all internet users to prove their age. This would involve using their passport data, their driver's license, or bank information to access online content.
Bank information, bro. Imagine needing to like forcibly put in your bank information on the internet. Y'all remember how like Sony has been hacked, I believe, 5 times in the last like 14 years? Basically, Sony experiences a massive hack every 2 to 3 years on average. But yeah, go ahead and just fucking put your bank information on general relative website. Fucking A, dude.
Intended for an 18-plus audience. And we'll get to the biometrics too. That is dystopian. Like similar laws enforced across Western nations, the move stems from a bid to shield minors from harmful conduct. Yeah.
And nobody for a moment believes that's what it actually is. This has nothing to do with protecting minors. I know I say it all the time. I know I sound like a broken record. I know you guys think it's obvious because it is obvious. But for whatever dumb schmuck might be listening that's never heard before, seen before, whatnot, this is about using children as a shield for criticism when really they want to control you. They want to control your identity. They want to control your assets. They want to control your physical, corporeal body. And they're using your empathy towards children and their safety to do it.
Intent and conduct. Experts have long argued that age verification could negatively impact people's rights to free speech, access information, privacy.
Bingo, bango, bongo. Tebow's exactly correct. I want you to look me in the eye with a straight goddamn face, and you tell me they care about protecting children when we still don't know shit about the Epstein files. When we have had the pedophiles that run, and not just the American government, but the world over. When there has been no justice for the children that spent years upon years being raped on a pedophile island. But all of a sudden we're supposed to believe that digital ID is to protect the children? The math ain't mathin', son.
And digital security, absolutely. For Russian lawmakers, however, the risk is certainly worth the trouble, and adult-only content seems to be the beginning. Another announcement, the deputy chairman of the State Duma Committee on Information Policy, Information Technology.
By the way, not to sound like an e-beggar or nothing, but I just talked about pedophile island and the government raping children. This show's not gonna last in terms of, like, this episode's probably gonna have to go members only or something like that. Ad rev ain't gonna be good. I'd appreciate some donos and some super chats because this one's gonna hurt.
Communications, Andrei Svintsov, also said that Russians are set to lose their anonymity on the internet within the next 3 years, 5 at most. That is, every internet user will register with some specialized identifier that will verify their...
I remember another regime that had people register every single individual. Papers, please.
Their age and other necessary access rights. I think that time has come to introduce something similar to purge all social networks and platforms of these bots and the seemingly limitless amount of generated content. Okay, so the road to hell is paved with good intentions, and how they're going to sell this to the public is how they often sell.
The road to hell is paved with good intentions is a fine sentiment, but it doesn't apply here. The road to hell is paved with the guise of good intentions in this case, because they don't have good intentions from the outset. This is the guise of good intentions.
Things to the public. It's for the greater good. It's for the greater good. Don't you want minors to be protected from harmful content? Don't you want people to be able to go on the internet and have it be safe and sanitized, and you know, there's not going to be any racism or homophobia or whatever? Well, actually, I can't say that, because in Russia, according to Pirate Nation, Russia just banned LGBTQ plus mods on Modrinth, the platform for Minecraft mods. So in Russia, that's not going to happen. But that's how they're going to sell it, I think, in other
Queers
places.
don't get to play with the blocks.
You know, they're going to be like, yeah, think of the children. Think of the children. That's what this is all about. Think of the children.
What up, Netflix?
Safety, security. Again, see also the pandemic, right? Think of grandma, right? Think of grandma. You're not doing it for you. We're not shutting your business down.
Man, my grandma fell for that shit hook, line, sinker. I know you're watching. I love you, grandma. I do. I love you. You fell for that shit hook, line, sinker. I remember visiting my grandma during COVID, right? I remember visiting my grandma during COVID, and she practically begged me to get the vaccine. I was like, I'm sorry. I ain't doing it. I love you. I ain't doing it. Here we are, 5 years later. We both fine. We both A-okay. Her getting her new glasses is more important to me than that fucking vaccine.
For you, opening your business and not taking that shot, you're literally killing old people. You don't want to kill old people,
says highly on grandma. Grandma,
well, it's the same thing here. You don't want minors to be harmed, do you? You don't want them to feel unsafe online or feel like they don't have a safe space. So you're going to agree to this age gating stuff because, you know, predators are out there, which is true. On Roblox especially, it's pretty bad. I mean, I'm going to be honest, but it is a slippery slope. And, you know, when we start talking biometrics, I mean, that's crazy. We'll look at that, but I wanted to, before we get into it any deeper, everybody hates this. This is coming from the ACLU. They're talking about digital driver's licenses.
I'll hit that after the video.
And they said that there's going to be a great internet lockdown, that the internet is basically going to be locked down, and you're going to have...
We're already experiencing the great internet lockdown. Here's the, like, I know people don't want to hear it. People don't like to believe. And like when I say people, I mean people that are not that don't understand the internet of old. But with like dead internet theory is real. All right, I don't give a fuck that it's just a conspiracy theory. Dead internet theory is real. The internet as it currently stands is a shadow of what it used to be. Now it's going to become even, more of a shadow of what it used to be with things like digital ID. But take a look at the internet in the 90s compared to now. Take a look at, the censorship, the way the algorithms are built, how far you have to dig deep to find stuff. You have to go to the deep web, the dark web. I mean, like, and first of all, the deep web isn't even like some scary place where they sell like drugs and prostitution and shit. Like, don't get me wrong, that's there. But the deep web is literally just like what's under the surface of what you can't see. It's like a bunch of financial data and things that aren't relevant to modern current algorithmic searches. The point is, dead internet theory is a thing. It's all ran by bots. It's all inauthentic. You are being fed and regurgitated bullshit from 2016 that it hasn't been relevant in ages to give you just a visage of a free and open internet. So yes, there's been a great internet lockdown. It's just been a soft lock. You are basically living in an internet-based open air prison.
Access to it. Again, the ACLU, which is usually on the other side of things, right? They're even like, this is highly concerning because they're going to micromanage the internet and gate off access to the internet unless you give them all of your personal information. And they said, seemingly overnight, you find demands to share your digital ID coming from every direction, online and off. Want to enter a convenience store, scan your ID. Want to browse a clothing store, buy a cup of coffee, park your car, scan your ID. When you try to watch a video online, log into social media, or look at a news site, you get a pop-up demanding that you click here.
Dude, imagine that. Imagine you guys couldn't watch me without scanning your fucking ID. I have to pack it in, boys. I have to pack it in. Go back to working in IT. Ain't no way you can be a content creator in the modern age. People gotta scan an ID just to watch your fucking live stream.
To submit your driver's license. Now that the infrastructure exists, you find yourself asked to submit your license at every turn, and submit you will because you have little choice. Again, it's not the idea of it. I mean, the idea of it's kind of unsettling too, but I mean, we're already tagged with social security numbers, right? I mean, we are. Let's be honest. You can't get a job or a bank account or anything without a social security number, credit card.
Yeah, you can. You can absolutely get a job without a social security number or birth certificate or anything. You just had to have come here from the southern border illegally. And then you can get your job without that stuff.
Or anything like that. But this is a little more extreme because we are talking everything. You can't even buy a cup of coffee. You got to verify your age. And that's how they're going to sell. But again, it's not about verifying your age, right? It's not about that. It's about tagging each and every one of us and limiting the ability to conduct business or just live unless you play by the rules of whoever.
Bro, like this, you could make an argument. Now, I don't know if this is true. I don't know if I'm this deep in the conspiracy theory rabbit hole. But you could make an argument that this is easily step numero uno towards Project Bluebeam. Project Bluebeam, when they wanna basically make you a husk of a human, a shell. They want to dull your senses. They want to make you the perfect little worker drone for the New World Order, for the utopia that will be ruled by the elites. I mean, I don't know that digital ID is the lead into Project Bluebeam, but it's not impossible.
Is in charge of this. And that's what's concerning. And again, not to wax philosophical or get biblical or, bring religion into it, but there was a huge cautionary tale in a certain book that talked about that, like making sure that, we didn't get into a system where you can only buy or sell through one entity. And, that was toward the back of the book. Just look it up. So that's what, it's scary because, I mean, we are there. Again, you think we're not there? Look at the pandemic. That was a trial run. They want us to be tagged. And eventually, I think what's going to happen, and I don't think this is hyperbole at all. I don't think it's, I think eventually what's going to happen is when you're born, just like you're given a social security number, they will put a chip in you because they're already doing it to pets. I mean, we got 3 dogs. They all got chips because, They're dogs. I want to be able to find them if they get lost. But it's not hard to put a chip in a baby. And they're tiny, tiny chips. I mean, we're not talking like cyborgs with a big ass, plug sticking out of the back of your head or whatever. We're talking microscopic RFID chip that when you're born, you're assigned a number, and that chip will track you.
Hasn't that happened already? Hold on. Hasn't that happened? Haven't we had a case where it was found? Hold on. Was there a medical case of an RFID chip found in a human? Yes. Yeah, there have been medical cases where an RFID chip has been found in a human, both planned and unplanned. Example, 2006 case where a police officer had an RFID chip implanted for identification, which emergency staff located after an accident to access medical history, specifically his type 1 diabetes. Additionally, a 2021 study in 2021 found that RFID chips and silicone implants can cause artifacts on MRI scans. There's also documented cases of infected implanted RFID chips requiring removal after treatment. Yeah, like it's already a thing. Intentional or not, probably intentional. It's already a thing.
Everything you do, every step you take, every move you make, every person you have relations with, maybe they'll age gate that too. So maybe in some ways it'll be a good thing. Like, nah, you gotta wait till you're 18. You gotta wait till you're married. Oh my God, could you imagine that? Could you imagine that? Like, hey, yeah, you guys can't get married or do anything because we got to make sure your chips are in sync. So instead of getting a marriage license, you got to make sure that your chips are compatible, or it like puts off some like loud buzzing in your head or something. Like, no, you can't do that. We know what you're doing. You can't do that. But now they're talking biometrics too. So we're talking
base Johnny Mnemonic reference, Matt. Great movie. Underrated movie.
Again, I'm not trying to get all dystopian here. I'm really not. But, I am a fan of science fiction, and it seems like we're living it, but the bad one, the dystopian science fiction, because we already can basically read thoughts. There were experiments done. I remember watching a video on it a couple of years ago where basically you could think an image and we could project that image on screen.
Yeah, that's technology that's rapidly evolving. That's crazy. It's really interesting. I don't know how it's going to be used for nefarious purposes, but it will. But yeah, like latent psychic ability in humans is absolutely a real thing.
You can actually convert.
The government spent millions upon millions of dollars funding this with Project Stargate, by the way. It's a real thing. Like me, Sammy, and Cindy need to cover it on TFH. But like Project Stargate was a real thing, and it's wild how much money the government put into funding psychic research, and it more or less be proven true.
Human brain waves into an image, kind of like Wi-Fi, right? And you can see what somebody's thinking. So how much of a stretch is it, really, to be like, yeah, we're going to put chips in people, we're going to track you online, and we know what you're thinking too. So stop thinking bad thoughts. Again, 1984.
Yep, remote viewing. Exactly, Jeremiah. Yep.
We were warned. They thought it was an instruction.
Well, no, Tebow, transhumanism is the future. It's just not the good future. It's not a good future. That is the way the world is heading, and there will be people that absolutely partake in it. And you know what? You'll probably there will probably be a time, whether it be in the near future or the distant future, where people that reject transhumanism, people that maintain in their natural bodies and age naturally and die and are born, from parents that don't chip their babies and whatnot, like they are an outgroup, they are an underclass, and they are treated as such.
Manual. It's coming from Reclaim the Net. Russia moves to mandate state biometric ID for online verification. Russian lawmakers are moving forward with a proposal that would make the country's biometric and e-government systems the mandatory gatekeepers for online age verification. Again, that's the tip of the iceberg. If implemented, the measure would tie access to adult or potentially harmful content directly to a person's verified state ID, dissolving any remaining expectation of online anonymity.
Yo, shout out to Slay. Thank you so much for the raid.
It's going to be extended to personal lives too. I tell you, once you abuse power and you realize that people are okay with it, it's a slippery slope. It's like, well, sheeple are going to do whatever we tell them to do.
No, but they've already abused power, and they've proven people are okay with it. And we can go back further than COVID. We can go, like, the power was abused with the Patriot Act. Power was abused. Shit. the CIA and all these these three-letter agencies abused their power when they fucking knocked off JFK and MLK Jr. Like, power has been abused all throughout American history. You know, this is what we were warned about with the military-industrial complex back in the fucking 40s. All right? Yeah, the abuse of power has been steady and ever growing, whether it be killing politicians, whether it be importing drugs into African-American communities by the CIA during the war on drugs, whether it be, whether it be the Patriot Act, whether it be COVID. Doesn't matter. It's all abuse of power. It's not as Waco Ruby Ridge, yes. It's not a slippery slope. It is a free fall off a cliff.
You want groceries, right? You know, I mean, look how many people took an experimental shot to keep their jobs because you had to. You had to do it to keep your job. And this will be the same thing. You got to do it. You got to do the digital ID. You got to get the chip in your head. Again, hypothetical. I'm not saying it's actually going to happen, but I can see it being possible. The technology is already there. You got to get the chip in your head or you're not going to be able to buy groceries, right? You want to buy groceries, right? If you're not doing it for yourself, do it for your family. Your kids want to eat, right? So you're going to do it. You're going to do it to feed your kids because a lot, people with families especially.
Sorry, kiddo. You want to eat? Then we had to break into the neighbor's house and steal our cat and cook him up. Our cat's fine. We ain't going to eat our cats. We'll definitely steal the neighbor's cats and we'll eat them. You want cashew kitty, kung pao kitty, or sweet and sour kitty? Because we breaking in and we stealing them felines, son. We don't need to go to no Walmart. We're going to eat Fido over at the Dickey's residence.
Put under a great deal of stress. A lot of people, it's easy to say, hey, I won't do this or I won't do that. If it's just you, right? If it's just you who's affected, like, oh, go ahead and kill me. I don't care. I'll be dead, right? But when, you've got your kids or your parents or whatever, your spouse, then people will agree to a lot of things, right? That you put pressure on their families, they're going to agree to a lot of things.
War Wizard.
The plan discussed on October 28th is being marketed as a child protection initiative. Bullshit. Officials insist it is designed to keep minors away from dangerous material, yet the scope of what qualifies is remarkably broad. According to Tech Radar, one official included pornography, violent or profane videos. Yeah, even video game violence. And
who gets to decide what that is? Who gets to be the arbiter of what violent and profane videos are? Does me saying fuck once in a 5-hour live stream count as profane?
YouTube is cracking down on that too. Like YouTube is gonna. I'm telling you right now, YouTube is gonna be unrecognizable in 2 years. It's just gonna be a bunch of like goofy ass AI generated cartoons and shit, and very sanitized videos. Even propaganda of antisocial behavior is then what is that? Propaganda of antisocial behavior. Define that, please. In a list of restricted content. The main part of the proposal is the use of the Gosolugi digital services portal, which already functions as Russia's main interface for state verification.
The cartels are the government.
Again, this is Russia, not the U.S., but it's already coming, guys. This system connects directly to the Unified System of Identification and Authentication and the National Unified Biometric System, both of which are controlled by the government. It's not a stretch to imagine that happening here and then imagine all of the world leaders getting together and being like, let's just have a global database of biometrics, a global database of...
I would flip those, Hugo. Nerd culture, let alone tech as a whole, but yes.
For the safety and security of our people. State Duma Deputy Anton Nemkin, a former FSB officer, suggested these networks could be used to verify age without directly transmitting passport data to third-party platforms. In effect, the state would become the universal intermediary between citizens and the internet. Just think about that for a minute. The government will decide if you have internet access or not and what you can see on the internet. And it's already happening here. You say it can't happen. It's already happening. Legal experts specializing in digital rights argue this initiative continues a long-established trajectory since 2012, when Russia began constructing its online censorship framework under the pretext of protecting minors. That's what they're doing right now. See also Roblox. See also YouTube and other platforms. Each new regulation has chipped away at personal privacy while expanding government visibility into everyday digital life. The current proposal also fits neatly within Moscow's broader strategy of digital.
And Divine, I agree. I mean, I like the idea of moving to cash, but the problem is moving to cash only has the value that the government says it does, right? It's not like we're backed by a gold standard or anything anymore, so cash only has the value that the government says it does. If the government decided tomorrow no more cash, that cash is worthless.
Sovereignty. Deputy Chairman of the State Duma Committee on Information Policy, Andres Vinskov, I guess, recently claimed that every Russian internet user will lose their anonymity within 3 years, 5 at most. This vision aligns with another state project approved in June, the development of a national...
How does Edward Snowden feel about all this, dude? Edward Snowden lives in Russia right now. Until the pardon that he deserves and needs, first of all, bring back Edward Snowden. But he's been hiding out in Russia for what, a fucking decade and a half now? Dude exposed the NSA was doing mass surveillance and information gathering on every single U.S. citizen in the world, not just in the country, but in the world. Dude fled to Russia because he would have been charged with treason, possibly put to death. Dude fled to Russia, and now in Russia, they're implementing biomechanical digital ID.
Super app integrating digital ID, government services, and payment systems, which would even let users confirm one's age to a supermarket cashier. Again, one system to buy, and if you're not part of that system, if you haven't agreed to be part of that system, you're not going to be allowed to buy or sell anything. Think about it. Again, there's a book out there. Skip to the end. you can see where this is going. I'm just saying. If this legislation passes, it would not simply limit access to adult material. It would require citizens to authenticate their identities through ESIA each time they view anything categorized as adult content. Some of this stuff isn't actually adult content, no matter how loosely defined that label becomes. And they'll use AI to determine that, and it gets it wrong. It's just like they're using AI on YouTube now. It gets it wrong. It would build a permanent record linking verified identities to private online behavior. It would build, okay, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Zoom in on this here. It would build a permanent record linking verified identities to private online behavior, giving the state sweeping insight into personal consumption habits. They already have that more or less with your banking information, with your credit cards, like, the FBI, whatever. They're going to look into your, buying, spending habits. They know where you're at because you bought gas in a certain state or whatever, and you used your chip on your card. So you had the physical card on you, obviously, to be able to do that.
And none of this is new. They've been building towards this since the 60s. Y'all gotta remember, DARPA invented the internet in the 60s. The internet's not some new cool toy that came out in the 90s. DARPA, the head of the military industrial complex in the United States, have been building on this for about 80 years now. This has been the long game.
So Russia, it's overkill, like Russia and China, but eventually they're going to push for it here too. They are. They're going to push for it in other countries too, because it's too tempting not to. And then they'll sell that information. Then what's going to happen is you're going to buy a new car, and the damn dashboard's going to have ads on it, and you're going to have to pay to get the ads removed. And then if you miss a payment or something, or maybe your social credit score is not high enough, the damn car will drive itself back to the dealership because you...
Bro, the shit that I say, my social credit score is going to be worse than my actual real-life credit score. Let me tell you, boys, my credit score ain't good. It ain't good, son.
Lost your car rights, your driving privileges. It's a privilege to drive a car. So it's just going to drive itself back to the dealership because you said something mean on Facebook. That's where all of this is headed, right?
That's a dumb question, Cyborg. and I'm not saying this to be insulting to you, but it's a dumb question if you think about it for even a moment. Why invent the long game for which they won't be around to see come to fruition? Why would all these biblical figures? Why would Moses preach the gospel when he wouldn't be around to see the second coming of Christ? Because not power, because ideology is something that you want to take into the future. And ideology has like an inherent negative connotation nowadays when we talk about it. That's not true. Having Christian ideology is a very good ideology to have. My point is, people fight for their ideology to maintain relevance beyond them, beyond their life. Our life might be fleeting, but the ideology needs to live forever. So the people that support this negative ideology, this transhumanist and government and big tech controlled future, they're laying the groundwork and the seeds now for their future generations to maintain control. Yeah, George Soros might not live to see this, but his son, Alex Soros, is going to be in control of all this.
It's like laugh or cry because it seems so ridiculous. It feels like a Woody Allen movie, right? It's just ridiculous, but it's also not, because it's right around the corner. And again, I fully believe, and yeah, this is a tinfoil hat theory, but I fully believe that the pandemic was a warm-up for something like this. We wanted to see how dumb people really were and how willing they were to obey the government, even if it was not in their best interest to do so, under the threat of, be a real shame if something happened to your family. Be a real shame if you weren't allowed to fly anywhere. Be a real shame if you lost your job. Just saying. I'm just saying it's here. So what are you going to do about it? I don't know. I mean, what can you do about it, right?
That's the question. What
can any
you
of us do about
I
it?
want to know the answer to that, because
wild,
I don't know beyond talking
I think in
about
the short term, I would like to see an alternate spyware-free internet kind of pop up. And I'm not talking the dark web, like I said before. I'm talking like, let's just roll it back 10, 15 years, let people go do their internet stuff over there. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Excellent video. Yep, excellent video. I'll drop the link. Give it a like. Look, the world's headed towards digital ID, whether we want to or not. The question becomes, how will we get there? How fast will we get there? What sort of pushback is there going to be? Will the U.S. fall to it? I mean, there's so many questions. There's so many questions that I don't have the answers to. And the only thing I can keep doing is making these videos, talking with you guys about it. Putting it, just doing what we can to build up some sort of resistance to this. But I don't have the answers to it, and I know you guys don't as well. So we're in a very strange limbo space. But it is coming. It's happening in Russia. It's happening in the UK. It's happening in Australia. I think the U.S. is the end-game boss. I think that the U.S. has such a value, at least comparatively to other nations, on freedom, that they know it'll be the hardest to implement there. But I do think that they're going to do their damnedest to try, and frankly, it might succeed. I don't know. I don't want to be black-pilled. I don't want to be a doomer, so we'll see. But all in all, yeah, we should acknowledge now that no blissful ignorance, no blinders to it, because this is where the world's heading unless we do something about it. What? I don't know, but something. That being said, I'll hit those supers in a sec. I'm going to run to the bathroom real quick, then I'll hit the supers, and then we will move on to the Mamdani New York stuff. So bear with me for a couple minutes. I'll give you guys a chair stream. I'll be right back. Alrighty, we got a couple supers to hit. Let's check those out. Let's see. Well, boy, War Wizard for the 199 says, fine, fine. Take your shekels, Grift King. Shout out, your boy is the Grift King. And then Catzilla. Actually, if I was the Grift King, I'd be saying, yo, guys, come on. Only 2 donuts? Yeah, y'all can do better than that. No, seriously, thank you. Truly appreciate it. And Catzilla for a 2-banger. Toss a coin to your grifter. Thank you. Thank you. Absolute legends, the both of you. Let's go ahead and give y'all a clip.
Now excuse me while I harass someone for having pronouns in their bio.
Truly appreciated. Couldn't do this without you guys. It means the absolute world to me. Alrighty. Let's talk about New York. Piers Morgan going to change history. Mamdani wins New York mayoral election. Let's find out what the dipshits on the Piers Morgan show got to say about this situation.
Donald Trump, turn the volume up.
If you told me 20 years ago that New York City would elect a mayor who is a Muslim guy, a terrorist sympathizer, who is anti-cop, I would laugh in your face.
Do you believe the NYPD is racist?
Yes! Oh, God. There it is.
Free buses, freeze the rent, universal child care. All these policies are wildly popular.
All that cool free
I'll
stuff.
respond, yes.
Who's going to pay
there's one
for it?
photo-
Who's going to pay for it? Venezuela, Cuba, Soviet Union.
Okay.
Give me an example, and I'll come with you. I'm all in.
New York will remain a city.
Guys, this is going to be so good. This is going to be so good. I'll be real. I'm not a big fan of that Vinny guy, you know, the Angry Patriot. Like, I love the PBD show. I do. I like Patrick Bet David. I think that you can get your point across so much more effectively without yelling and screaming like a moron. Because he's right in a lot of points, but the way he delivers it turns people off, in my opinion, to his message. But let's see.
Of immigrants, and as of tonight, led by an immigrant.
Every American that's watching this, don't get it twisted.
Okay, Vinny.
The moment a Democrat comes into power, the border's wide open.
I think the loser last night isn't the Republican Party. It's actually the American people. You were
Yes,
entertained
obviously.
by 2020 and a little bit scared about 2024. 2028 is going to be like the
Yo,
Godfather
shout out,
2.
Paul. How you doing, buddy?
For the first time in a long time, Democrats are waking up to that winning feeling. It's not quite a political earthquake, but it's definitely...
No, Democrats are not waking up to a winning. All right, dude. He has not finished one sentence. He's already wrong. No, Democrats aren't waking up to a winning feeling. Commies are. Communists are waking up to a winning feeling. There is nothing, even as much as you hate Democrats and hate the left or whatnot, there is nothing actually democratic about this. This is communism.
a sizable tremor, and the epicenter is right here in New York City, where I am at the moment. Zohran Mamdani is the newly minted mayor of America's biggest city, and the 34-year-old socialist wasted no time in aiming his firepower at President Donald Trump. So Donald Trump.
So there's been a lot of talk about who's going to run against J.D. Vance in 2028, right? There's been a lot of talk about that. And people say AOC, right? People say AOC. People say Buttigieg. Nah, it's this guy right here. It's Zohran. This is who they're going to run. Because they claim he was born in America, right? Don't they claim he was born here? I could be wrong. Let's find out. I want to make sure, because I don't want to be retarded and be fat-checked and be wrong. But don't they claim he was born here? I'm pretty sure they do. Was Zohran born in the U.S.? Yes. No, he's born in Uganda. He was born in Uganda. So, okay, maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I was going to try and change the rules to make it to where he can run anyway.
Since I know you're watching, I have 4 words for you. Turn the volume up.
Check the DM you sent me. One sec.
Well, Mayor Mamdani's socialist program is about to have an uncomfortable brush with reality. The jury is very much out on whether they can really deliver on government-run grocery stores, free buses and free childcare, among many other lavish pledges. But the verdict on his campaigning style is resounding, and Democrats nationally will be taking notes. President Trump may call him a crazed communist, but he knows a canny operator when he sees one. Mamdani ran a populist campaign, turbocharged...
All right. Let's check this real quick. Hold on a sec. I'll go ahead and pull that up. Before we get too far in this, I'll go ahead and pull that up, Tebow. Let's go ahead right here. Open this in a new tab so I don't dox myself. And Muslim leader says they have a plan to turn America into an Islamic state and have a Muslim president of the United States. They'll run for office, elect Muslim mayors, then elect Muslim school boards, start indoctrinating American children to Islam. One day you're going to be the president of the United States of America. Let's work towards that. Let's work towards the Muslim mayor. Next election comes, nominate people with the school board of education. Next election that comes here, nominate people with the local township. Begin the demographics change. People converted. There's a big, huge conversation going on. So here's the dealio. Let's take a listen. Let's take a listen. This is a minute and a half. Let's take a listen.
One day you're going to be the president of the United States of America. No one, koi Michael Ali, who can stop you from becoming a president. Dream big, have a vision. Because if Barack Hussein Obama can be a president, Sohaib Jawad cannot be a
Very interesting how he mentions Barack Hussein Obama and definitely went all in on the middle name.
president. Tell him. He's going to be a president. He's talking about that the Muslims will take over Mecca. They used to laugh at him. What happened? What is Mecca now? Where is Mecca? It's coming. Change is coming to America. And what is Allah telling us? Kuntum khayra ummatin. You are the best of nations. You're better than everybody else. That's what Allah is saying. Let's work towards that. Let's work towards a Muslim mayor. Next election that comes in, nominate people for the school board of education. Next election that comes here, nominate people for the local township. Begin the demographics change. People converted. There's a big, huge conversion going on in this country. Where are the converts? They just convert and they're gone in the wilderness. The other thing, children. Muslims have the highest population. Average, they did.
See, you want to make all your think of the children arguments about digital ID? How about the real think of the children argument? Yeah, isn't this the religion that part of their foundation is predicated on literally preying on children?
Pew Foundation did a research study, Pew Foundation, and they said that Muslim household average is 3.4 child per family. The white American has 1 child per family. We're already beating the march because these are voters.
Say the quiet part out loud.
In hospitals. These are voters. That's the way a politician looks at it. We have to change the framework and start looking at things from a different lens, different angle for future. You're not going to change society today in your lifetime, but you think about your
See, exactly what I'm saying. You don't have to change it today in your lifetime. So you were asking earlier, Cyborg was asking why they would try and create a social change for a world they'll never see, because they're trying to do, it's future-proofing for the next generations. Exactly. He just answered your question, Cyborg. Hunter, for a 10-banger, says, Zohran Mamdani does not know the way. Does not know the way.
Name one word that starts with G pronounced like J. Gentrification. Shoot, should have thought of that. I was just in San Francisco.
Shout out, Hunter. Thank you very much.
By social media, which focused on massive changes to a failing status quo. It's all very familiar to the man currently in the White House. And Mamdani is the first prominent Democrat in what feels like an age to campaign on something other than calling Trump a demonic fascist. So has Mamdani cracked the code for a Democratic revival, or could his individual triumph drag the party down a far-left rabbit hole to electoral oblivion? Joining me to debate all this on a massive night in US politics is PBD podcast Angry Patriot, Vincent Ashana, the co-host of Her Take and former Democratic strategist Lindy Lee, the host of Bet.
Lindy Lee's a moron. Lindy Lee's a moron. Like, she is one of the most ill-read figureheads for this sort of like left movement. She is somebody who left the Democrats because of the failure of the Biden administration, but she did not leave her progressive principles behind. She just didn't like the fact that the progressives were losing. So she jumped ship to the right and is now trying to use the same progressive ideologies to usurp the right wing. She's a moron.
News, Mark Lamont Hill. I'm a journalist at The Grey Zone, Aaron Marte. So a great panel. Let me start with you, Vinny. You must be absolutely delighted that a self-declared socialist is now in charge of New York City.
Oh, Piers, being originally from Yonkers, New York, it's just, it's overwhelmingly just happy. Piers, if you told me, Piers Morgan told Vincent Oshana 20 years ago that New York City would elect a mayor who is a Muslim guy, who is a terrorist sympathizer, who is
Muslim guy, terrorist sympathizer? How did that whole never forget thing work out? Yo, thank you for the sub, Hunter. How did never forgetting work out? Guy, 9/11 was 24 years ago. That's it. That's all. Not even a quarter of a century of a year ago. So much for never forget.
Anti-cop who literally took a photo with a co-conspirator of the first World Trade bombing, Piers, I would laugh in your face. But guess what? The joke is on me. And I'm telling you right now, Piers, it's almost as if The Dark Knight, the movie, Bane is there. Bane is going to be Mamdani. And you wait to see what he's going to do to the city. Okay? And Piers, let me back
Donald Trump needs to turn up the volume.
up a little bit. Shame on the Republicans, first and foremost. They couldn't pick one good, energetic, pro-American patriot to run. No offense to Curtis Silva, but he's too old. He's too boring. All right, the campaign was horrible. Piers, and guess what? No American's going to vote for a guy with a red beret. I'm sorry. That's number one. Number
That's
two,
true. Berets are
Democrats.
gay. Berets are gay. Dude, when you play in Resident Evil 4, you look at Krauser, you see these all jacked, he's got the scars and shit. Like, yo, Krauser's awesome. Then you see the red beret, and you see these as comrade. You're like, yo, dude, Krauser gay as fuck.
All they had to put up to go against this guy, Piers, was a failed mayor, Eric Adams, who made it a sanctuary city, brought in all the illegals, crime went up, gave them money, gave them credit cards, put them in hotels, and then was like,
Matt.
whoops, I'm sorry I made a mistake. It was the Democrat leadership that made me do it. Cut to Andrew Cuomo, okay? Talk about a governor that failed. The alleged sex scandal, whatever you want to call it, and then he killed how many thousands of poor old grandmothers and grandfathers did he kill in New York? And guess when he apologized, Piers? Not 2 years after, not 3 years, the day of the election, he goes, I'm sorry, I messed up, all right? Which is absolutely horseshit. And I'm sorry for my language, Piers, but New York is going to get a taste of their medicine. I hate to say it, Piers, but sometimes you got to let the kid touch the iron and let him burn himself until he learns his lesson.
No, he's wrong. In general, I agree. He's correct. In general, you gotta let motherfuckers make mistakes so they can learn from those mistakes. Here's the dealio, though. This is a mistake that will destroy this country in the long run. Because what was that video we just saw? What was that video we just saw? Dude, they want to infest and overrun. They want to usurp the United States as we know it, and they are doing as such. Dude, New York, me and Real Life Fake Wizard were talking about this on SNH like 3 weeks ago. This is an existential threat, because if it can happen in New York, it can happen anywhere. This is a first step. This is not a one-off, or at least they don't want it to be a one-off. This is a direct view of the upcoming playbook.
And they're going to learn their lesson in about 1 or 2 years. You'll see, Piers.
Well, like I thought, you're jubilant about what's happened. Let me go to Aramata. You were making a few expressions there as Vinny was unleashing. I mean, from my point of view, it's very interesting because you've got results last night, which overall, a lot of wins for the Democrats, obviously, which is a good thing if you're a Democrat supporter. But two very distinct types of win. You've got the moderates winning, and then you've got Mamdani winning in New York, who's a self-declared socialist. These are very different pathways.
He is not a socialist. He is a communist who knows the word communism is still pretty toxic. So he'll say socialist. Dude, Ant-Man 3. They've been priming us in our media to accept this. Ant-Man 3, which granted, nobody saw, so it wasn't particularly effective, but it was there nonetheless, had the famous fucking line, you know, I know socialism's a pretty charged word, but no but. Socialism bad, and Mamdani is not a socialist. He is a communist using the guise of socialism to fulfill his agenda, which socialism is bad too. This ain't me capping for socialism. Socialism is not as bad because socialism hasn't led to 20 to 30 million deaths just due to starvation and, political murder. But it's pretty fucking up there. Yes, socialism is just communism light.
For the party to go, many people feel that it's going to be problematic to have someone like Mamdani, who is incredibly charismatic, rapidly becoming the face of the party, but a bit like with AOC and the others on the left, in a general election, highly unlikely to succeed with that kind of agenda. What do you think?
I think the people of New York showed that Mamdani is in touch with the grassroots of the Democratic Party and the majority.
The grassroots. Guys, I shared this on the stream yesterday, but I gotta do it again. I shared it on stream yesterday, but I gotta do it again. Alright, like, hold on. Talk to me about the grassroots right here. Tell me how Alex Soros is the grassroots. I'll wait. Bro, these political talking heads doing nothing but pushing an agenda based on lies, when right in front of our eyes we can see the truth. The fuck you mean, grassroots? Homie is partying it up with Alex Soros.
Of the country, if you can get past the fear-mongering that we heard from Vinny about Mamdani being a terrorist sympathizer and all the other smears that are used to dismiss his progressive agenda. He's not. He's just someone who believes that Palestinians are equal human beings. And for people devoted to the state of Israel, they can't understand that concept because they're Jewish supremacists, or they've internalized Jewish supremacy.
Y'all know me. Y'all know my channel. You know that I'm not pro-Israel. I'm also not pro-Palestine. I'm pro, shut the fuck up and let them fight it out themselves. It ain't got shit to do with us, and I don't give a fuck. But pro-Jewish supremacy? Come on now. That's a little fucking far. Look, I'm a good Christian boy from the Midwest. I don't give a fuck about the Jews. I don't give a fuck about the Islamics, the Muslims. I give a fuck about whether or not you're gonna lower my goddamn taxes. That's what I give a fuck about. The fuck you mean Jewish supremacy?
Everybody else understand that in this era of Democrats and Republicans supporting a genocide, supporting an assault on working people, someone like Mamdani is a reasonable alternative. Yes, he calls himself a democratic socialist. If you look at his policies, they're incredibly moderate. He wants to establish free buses.
Yes, free everything is moderate. Free buses, free healthcare, state-ran grocery stores. That's moderate. This type of dude. If you are to the right of Bernie Sanders, you are a far-right extremist.
It's for working people. He wants to freeze the rent in rent-stabilized apartments. He wants to provide universal child care. All these policies are wildly popular. The difference is, and what's radical about him, is that he's centering working people. He's talking about issues that actually impact average people's lives. Donald Trump...
No, it impacts stupid people. Because stupid people won't ask the obvious question that Zalozy asked. So who pays for it all? Yeah, to your broke motherfucker, to your broke single mom that left, either left the husband or didn't do anything to find a stable two-parent household because they can get better government benefits raising a child on their own. Yeah, they're not going to ask, where's this coming from? Because they don't care. Because they're a fucking retard. So to them, free shit sounds good.
Promised to do all the things that Mamdani has talked about, but he hasn't. He's just delivered for his billionaire backers and the cabinet that backs them up. So Mamdani, unlike everybody else pretty much in U.S. politics, with some exception, is actually speaking to average people's needs, including on the issue of Israel-Palestine, where people were just fed up with both parties supporting genocide in Gaza.
Okay, Mark Lamont Hill.
Aaron, if you don't mind me, Piers, can I just say one thing?
Quickly,
Aaron, did he not take a photo with the co-conspirator of the first World Trade bombing? Did he not take a photo with smiling, and I'm pretty sure you didn't say anything, and all that stuff that you said, all that cool free
I'll
stuff.
Respond. Yes.
Who's going to pay for it? Who is going to pay for it? Who is going to pay for it? I'm just...
Dude, this guy looks like, the guy on the right looks like Freddie Prinze Jr. if he ate nothing but soy. Like, dude, it's Freddie Prinze Jr. on an all-tofu diet.
Cheers. By the way, and show me one time that this has worked. Venezuela, Cuba, Soviet Union. Okay. Give me an example. Give me a case study. And hold on. Don't smile. Okay. I'll come with you. I'm all in. Show me when it worked, and I'll buy it. I'll buy it. Go ahead.
Freddie Soy Jr. Exactly.
To answer your questions in order, in the course of campaigning, where candidates take pictures with literally thousands of people, he appeared in one photo with someone who was identified as an unindicted co-conspirator in a bomb he was never even charged for. So yes, people take photo ops all the time.
Yeah,
Andrew Cuomo,
unindicted.
unindicted.
Meaning what? He was in the room.
Excuse
me.
me.
Give me a break, bro.
I'm answering your question.
That's not what that means.
Andrew Cuomo is taking pictures with actual war criminals, unlike Zohran Mamdani, who rejects.
Andrew Cuomo is also the fucking devil. What are we talking about here? Like, again, I don't particularly like Vinny. I don't think he has an effective way. The way that he keeps droning on and yelling and not letting the dude answer his question, I think that's an ineffective method. But at no point did he say anything pro-Cuomo.
The endorsement of war criminals. In terms of how he's going to pay for it, he's already said he's going to tax the ultra wealthy a little bit more, who already make.
All right, what qualifies as the ultra wealthy? And what happens when they fucking flee New York City? Because they don't want to be goddamn taxed. You cannot tax the impoverished, or you cannot tax the wealthy into wealth for the impoverished. That's just not how the fucking world works.
All the money in the world. That's who he's going to pay for his popular social programs. He's not proposing anything like we've seen in Cuba.
They're all leaving.
And
guess who's leaving? Guess who the mass exodus is going to be? Guess who the mass...
Yeah,
hold on. And just out of curiosity, they're going to leave. Hold on. You know what you're not talking about? Who is going to come to New York? Who's going to come to New York? He wants to let people out of prisons. Okay, think about it. He wants to give away free stuff. Hold on. And he's pro-illegal. What the hell's going to happen to New York? You're missing the whole point.
I'll tell y'all what's going to happen in New York. I'll show y'all what's going to happen in New York. This right here is what's going to happen from New York. Look at that. Look at all that. Except for they ain't going to have no masculine men to defend it, to protect it. This is what's going to happen in New York. But without Snake Plissken and hotties with bodies with giant jugs. We ain't gonna get no dope ass eye patch wearing hotties with bodies with men and hotties with bodies with giant jugs. Just saying. That's what's gonna happen in New York.
People like you want to. Okay, Benny, listen. People like you want to give away free stuff to foreign governments like Israel to slaughter innocent civilians. Zohran Mamdani wants to use government resources.
When have I ever said I'm pro-Israel? When have I ever said that?
Listen,
don't put words in my mouth.
I pray for the innocent.
I pray for the innocent women and children of Palestine. Don't put words in my mouth, because Aaron, you don't know me, but I know this spiel. And you had to bring up Donald Trump. You always, and this is the problem, Piers, why these people have no leaders, no vision, no message, because for 8 years, you've been saying Trump, Trump, and when the dust settles, you have nobody. You guys hired,
Time out, guys. Time out. I want to bring in, we've got 2 other panel members. I want to bring them in. Martin Lamont Hill, you know, here are the things about Mamdani, which I like. He's very charismatic. He's got a very clear identity, I think, about what he stands for. He's an unashamed.
He's got a very clear identity, all right. Well, I don't know. I think we can call it an opaque identity. It's, he's quite dark.
Socialist. So he just says, this is what I am. There's something admirable about someone who says, these are my political colours. That's fine. I may not agree with him. He's an Arsenal fan, a very big Arsenal fan. He's been talking about it this morning. So he's clearly got immaculate taste when it comes to his football teams. But here's the issue, isn't it, Mark? For the party, I think, it's if he turns out to be a massive success in New York, hallelujah, he might be the guy who ends up becoming the president, right? And the Democrat superstar. Here he is now in charge of the biggest city in the country on a very socialist agenda.
Again, he was born in Uganda. But here we are saying he could become the president. Don't tell me for a moment they ain't going to try and pull shit like that. Oh, well, Trump's talked about running for a 3rd term. That's against the rules. So we can go ahead and start putting in people that weren't even born here. Actual free expression, whatever, a 5-banger. Here's a dono. I'm going to have to take a break for a bit for my membership. Words will re-up. Hey, dude, that's A-okay. That's A-okay. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Just as long as you show up, hang out, have fun, have dialogue. Like, that's more important. Now, do I appreciate donos and memberships and whatnot? Absolutely. It's what allows me to continue to do this. That being said, I never want you guys to go without your means. Unlike socialists, unlike communists, I don't want to take, seize the means of production and steal from you guys outside your means. So do what you can. I appreciate it because I'm a capitalist. So, thank you very much, homie.
No offense, but it sounds like some fucking commie gobbledygook.
Of giving all this stuff away. We've kind of seen a parallel for this in the UK with the Labour government who got swept in over a year ago with a massive majority, and it's already crumbling at the seams. They're about to launch a massive tax raid on pretty much everybody. They're incredibly unpopular, and it's all gone pear-shaped very, very quickly. If that happens with Mamdani in New York, conversely, it becomes a referendum on the Democrats that their big star turned out to be, a wolf in sheep's clothing. When was the last time you truly trusted the seafood you brought home? I used to second guess everything.
Normally we let the ad reads play out, because we're using other creators' content. Piers Morgan really don't need the money. He's doing just fine.
Wolf in sheep's clothing would be a bit of a leap, even if he were somehow not successful. But I think that there are a few issues on the table here. One, we continue to call him a socialist. And I think it's important to reiterate that he identifies as a democratic socialist, right? And
explain the difference, buddy. Explain the difference between a socialist and a democratic socialist. Because so far as I can tell, policy-wise, it's the exact same thing. The only difference is a democratic socialist will allow themselves to be elected into office before they start putting all their socialist and communist propaganda out in the world, rather than murdering the guy in charge to take the position. That's the only difference I can think of.
There are different types of socialism, and democratic socialism does not support the abolition of private property. It is not saying that there's no democratic elections. Many of the kind of boogeyman references that are made to socialism don't apply to Mamdani's vision or his.
Explain how. For the love of Christ, explain how they don't make, because they got the word democratic in front. That's not how it works, sonny boy. Gotta carry mine for $8. Thank you. That's a weird number to throw out there, but I appreciate it. I'm playing Sonic Rumble. What you're on the game, for me, it's alright. I haven't played it yet. I haven't downloaded it. I haven't played it yet. I've been doing so many other things, but I do have Sonic Rumble downloaded. Yeah, dude, shout out. Thank you so much for the dono. Truly appreciated. Let's see. We'll go ahead and give you this one right here.
How you doing, sir? Good. Can we talk to you? Where are you from? You live in New York?
Who are you?
Don Lemon.
You're a fucking moron, dude.
All right, shout out. Let's get back to this.
His self-identification any more than it does to AOC or any more than it does to Bernie Sanders. I think one of
You're right. You're right. It applies the same to AOC and Bernie Sanders, who are fucking socialists at best, commies at worst. We don't like those two either. How you saying this like it's some sort of win, my guy?
things we've learned in the last few years is that Democrats have played it far too safe. They're not speaking to people's needs. They're not speaking to people's interests. Speaking to the fact that people need the rent to stay stable, that they need access to food, clothing, and shelter. That's what Mamdani is doing.
Those are not human
and
rights.
If for some reason he were not to be successful and didn't have a great mayoral administration, I don't think it would be fair to say that I see that as a referendum on his ideology any more than all the other unsuccessful mayors and governors around the country or presidents around the country and the world who have had unsuccessful campaigns as capitalists and imperialists and fascists. We don't say, oh, maybe we should.
Dude just threw out all the buzzwords. Unsuccessful campaigns as imperialists, capitalists, and fascists. First of all, those are all three wildly different things. I'm pretty sure you just looked up some buzzwords on X, and I'm very, surprised you can pronounce them. Like, give me an example instead of just throwing out some word salad. I'm sorry, I say salad. I imagine the dude does not eat salad, so he's got that going for him.
Try something different. Sometimes it's about changing the driver, and sometimes it's about changing the direction. What we saw in New York last night was that New Yorkers want to do both. They wanted new leadership, but they also want a new vision. And I think that that's something that Democrats should follow.
Yes, they want a new vision. Being Democrat for the last 20 years hasn't helped, hasn't worked out. So our new vision, let's go even further left. And see, this whole democracy thing, this whole Democrat policy stuff ain't working. But have you tried communism?
Oh, because the way they've been working so far has not been working.
Okay, literally, the thing that I would be concerned about if I was Donald Trump and the Republicans is that the running theme behind all the successes the Democrats had last night was affordability. And there's no doubt the cost of living crisis coming out of the pandemic, inflation continues.
And this is why New Yorkers are fucking retarded. Democrats have been running on affordability for 20 plus years in New York, and it's never worked. Why would it work now under fucking socialism?
Continuing, Trump can claim some wins in bringing some prices down, others not so good. But this ongoing running sore of the
and yes,
standard
guys,
of
I know we're a
living
constitutional
for
republic.
people
That's not what I
in
meant.
the bottom bracket of society in America is not going away. People feel angry enough now to vote for people who they think are going to tackle.
And you know what? Honestly, Paul is correct. Paul in the chat is correct. Bernie was sabotaged by the DNC. I'm not a Bernie supporter, by the way. I'm not a Bernie supporter in the fucking slightest. I can't stand his policies. I think they would be disastrous for America. But my personal feelings about Bernie and his policies aside, that is an objectively true statement. Bernie was sabotaged by the DNC. He would have defeated Trump in 2016. Yes.
As a priority, affordability has been very striking to me that Mamdani, he doesn't want to get involved much in foreign affairs. He wants to focus specifically on the ability of really impoverished New Yorkers who can't afford their groceries, who can't afford to rent a home and so on.
Him making this argument about foreign affairs doesn't matter. He's the fucking mayor. He doesn't have any control over foreign affairs. He runs the fucking city.
That has been something that's resonated. There's no doubt about that.
Mark, respectfully, it's great to be here with you, but I got to address some of the claims that you made. This guy literally said he wants to seize the means of production, okay? We're not slapping a communist label on him just for our shits and giggles. He literally said this himself. And Aaron, as someone who has fundraised for Democrats, who's been in the game for a very long time, I can tell you that politicians at a high level, they vet every single person in the room. You better believe that no random person can just take a photo with Kamala Harris or Joe Biden. We vetted them. Someone actually who owed $40,000 to the IRS is booted out of the room because they didn't want him to be seen with Joe Biden, okay?
Dude, again, excuse me, I'm not a fan of this gal. I'm not. Again, I've called around her bullshit multiple times. But when you're right, and she's objectively correct. And I love that the identity politics here are going to flail and fall apart. Because it shows that the identity politics on the left are bullshit. They don't care that she is a female minority. Because she has a different opinion than them, they're going to treat her just like they would any cis white man. Like, oh, so you don't actually care about the underrepresented groups. You don't care about the fact that she's a female, that she's a minority or whatnot. Because to you, since she has a difference of opinion, she's the same as those filthy straight white dudes.
So this is this is very intentional on his part for you to say, oh, it was just some random dude who showed up. And not only did he take a photo with him, he decided to compliment him. That was a conscious decision. But Pierce, going back to what you said, he did a good job of campaigning on affordability, yes. But I also want to remind folks that we were heading in the right direction, so much so that Jerome Powell decided to lower interest rates not once but twice. So it takes a long time to bounce back from the mess that Joe Biden got us in, but we are moving in the right direction. And frankly, I know, Vinny, I love you to death, babe. I know you're upset about this, but I think this is the biggest gift for Republicans that we could possibly hope for. Because honestly, Marxist Mamdani, Rashida Tlaib, AOC, Jasmine Crockett, these people being the face of the Democratic Party is exactly what I want to run on going into 2026.
In a sense, I get what she's saying. I do. But I think she's being too hopeful. Because when you've got an infestation of individuals with this toxic, and I hate that word, but it's true here, with this toxic political ideology that will do anything they can to win, and then they can appeal to stupid voters, oftentimes illegal voters, oftentimes minority voters that do not share our fundamental American values. It's not really going to matter. Especially with, let's be real, if I'm going to be 100% honest, I'm going to say something a lot of y'all aren't going to want to hear. This has been a pretty shit regime for Trump so far. It has. It's not been good. Bowing and kowtowing to Israel, the failure of the Epstein files, this has been a very fucking awful administration for Trump so far. So they got nothing to stand on in 2026 if they don't start changing shit now. People don't want their fucking money going to Israel as much as they don't want it being fucking taken by these commies. Alright? People want to know why we let a global cabal of pedophiles rape children for God knows how many years, and then we see nothing from it. People want to know why the fuck ain't that swamp that was promised to be drained been drained. So no, Trump 2.0 has been a fucking failure. Whether you guys, and again, I know a lot of y'all on the right because I have a lot of viewers on the right, and that's A-okay. I appreciate you and appreciate the difference of opinion. I know a lot of y'all don't want to hear it, but it's true. Trump 2.0, in my opinion, minus some bright spots, has been an abject failure. So what do they really have to run on in 2026?
Okay, I want to just hold. Let me just hold the panel there. Let me hold the panel for a moment.
Yeah, because
I'm going to come back to the panel in a moment. I want to just bring in Frank Luntz, the pollster extraordinaire. Frank, your take on last night? I thought it was a very interesting set of results. Obviously, overall, a good night for the Democrats, but pulling in two very, very different directions: moderate, and then the socialist in New York.
The race, to me, that was by far the most important, didn't even feature a candidate. It was the ballot initiative in California, which some of your audience won't know much about, but that's going to allow the Democrats to completely rewrite the borders, the districts, the lines that will determine which voters vote in which areas. And that's going to give the Democrats...
Mind you, this is the exact same thing that the left was throwing a bitch fit that Texas was doing. But it's okay when they do it in California.
5 or maybe even 6 additional House seats. Now, Republicans had done it before in Texas. Democrats had a really bright, smart usage of language on the ballot to help them win that race, but it wasn't even close. And Pierce, that shift may well determine who controls Congress in 2026, and that's going to change history as we know it. That was the most significant race. I know it doesn't get the kind of yelling or kind of passion that the New York mayoral race does. But I'm telling you that the California voters have absolutely changed, have uprooted what was going to happen in America. And that's going to be the big story that we're going to be talking about for months and even for years.
Yeah, really, really interesting. And I don't disagree with you at all. It's a seismic thing that happened in California. But on the point about the direction of the Democrat Party, Mamdani is now the standout superstar of the party, and he's come from nowhere. And he's like this incredibly charismatic. I watched his speech last night. He's taking it to Trump and so on. You know, I can see a lot of young Democrats in particular cheering him on, thinking this is great. But his politics are very, very different, for example, to somebody like Abigail Spanberger, who won in Virginia. Which way is the party going to go? Which is more electable? Can you win a general election in America, do you think, if you are a self-declared socialist?
Absolutely not. And the party is going in both directions. And the progressives had a great win yesterday, and a significant win. And they finally have a spokesman who's incredibly articulate and powerful. And that helps the Bernie Sanders AOC wing of the party. The one who's probably most upset this morning is Chuck Schumer, because his Democratic Party is disappearing. On the Republican side, the party is no longer the party of Ronald Reagan. It's all about Donald Trump and his accolades. Both parties are moving in those directions.
It shouldn't be the party of Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan Republicans were fucking retarded. You telling me that their anti-2A and no-fault divorce shit was traditional conservatism? Look, I like some of the economics of Reagan. I ain't gonna lie. I think Reaganomics work. But there's more to the Republican Party, the Conservative Party or whatnot, than economics. And Reagan-era right-wingism was far too big government for me.
Away from the center. And in the end, there are going to be more and more Americans who look at both Republicans and Democrats and say, I can't vote for any of you. But Piers, you know I've been on this now for several years. I think the loser last night isn't the Republican Party. It's actually the American people. Because I see both parties rejecting the center, both parties rejecting a common sense approach and moving in these ideological directions. That does fire people up. That does excite younger people and excite people on the fringes. But in the end, there's so many Americans who believe that our democracy is not working anymore, as they do in the UK. And they believe that they're looking for someone with common sense, someone who is a centrist. And this is not necessarily where I stand. This is where the American...
They're not looking for a centrist. If they were, Mamdani wouldn't have been voted in. Like, let's be real. The youth are not looking for a centrist. The youth are looking for any... So here's the dealio. The modern day youth have grown up in a time where they feel like America has never been in a positive. Or, even worse, they feel like he was positive but not perfect under Barack Obama. And they're looking for an acceleration of that because they were young and they didn't understand how absolutely terrible Obama-era policies in the administration was. So they are looking for radicalization. They're just looking for radicalization in the most professional fashion. They're looking for radicalization with decorum.
People stand. And they don't see anyone who's speaking for them.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right. I mean, do you see anybody on the horizon for the Democrats, for example, that would fit that bill? A new Bill Clinton-y figure?
Absolutely. Cory Booker, the senator from New Jersey. Westmore.
That's your answer? Cory fucking Booker? The dude who's most famous for being married to the girl from Clerks 2? That's your... Bro.
Or the governor of Maryland. Mitch Landrieu, the former mayor of New Orleans. These are people who focus on getting stuff done. Booker was formerly the mayor of Newark, turned that city around. And they have a record of accomplishment, a record of results, which is what the American people are looking for. And they practice
If the American people were looking for that, then why didn't Booker trounce Biden during the 2020 elections? Booker was on the ticket, to become the primary become the primary politician for presidency in the 2020 election. Booker got fucking steamrolled by Kamala Harris. Like, I don't know if y'all remember how unpopular Kamala Harris was. She was polling like 2%. Booker got steamrolled by her. Honestly, Jeremiah, I agree. Fetterman would have been a good answer. Fetterman would have been a very good answer.
Accountability in what they do. They're not focused on Washington. They're not ideological. They would not come on this show and yell at each other. They would come to listen, learn, and lead. 3 Democrats that can make a difference. I'm going to repeat this so people check them out. Go on to YouTube to see their speeches. Go to Wikipedia to see their backgrounds. Cory Booker, New Jersey. Wes Moore, Maryland. And Mitch Landrieu, Louisiana. Incredible leaders. Focused on results. And I know I sound like a Democrat, but I know that's what the American people are looking for right now.
Putting your predictive hat on, take me forward to the midterms and then the general election. So 2026 first, then 2028. As things stand, what do you think is going to happen in both?
I've studied this. I know what history says, and history says the Democrats are going to win. The House races, maybe not the Senate, because the majority is too much in favor of the Republicans. But after last night in California voting the way that it did, if I were a betting man, I'd bet on the Democrats winning the House.
I think he's 100% correct. I do. I think he is 100% correct. Not only that, but historically speaking, there is a normalcy of the House flipping against the sitting president's political ideology, against the party. The House often flips against the incumbent. So yes, I do think he is correct.
Narrowly. Republicans keeping the Senate very narrowly, and the country once again going at each other. And we're going to have the most amazing election in 2028. If you were entertained by 2020 and a little bit scared about 2024, 2028 is going to be like The Godfather 2. It's going to be even better than what we saw in terms of competitiveness. My concern is whether or not it's better in terms of bringing voters back in, having them have faith, trust, and confidence in the American political system. Because in the end, Piers, ratings don't matter. I know they do for you. They don't matter for America. Money doesn't matter. Happiness matters. Success matters. Trust and confidence in the system of government. Our patriotism matters, and our country matters.
Yeah, patriotism doesn't exist amongst half the country. We talked about this yesterday in regards to going over everything that was happening in Australia. Half the country not only is not patriotic, but outright vilifies the idea of patriotism. So no, I don't think it actually does matter. I don't think patriotism, one way or the other, is what causes votes.
And I'm hoping that we will put people, truly, not a slogan, put people above politics in the years to come.
And Frank, finally, do you expect Donald Trump to try and change the rules so he can run again in 2028, or is he just trolling the libs, as he would put it?
I fully expect him to talk about it. I fully expect him not to do it. It is so clear what needs to be done, and there isn't enough time to get it done, but he wants to stay relevant. And I know.
And I find that to be a mistake as well. I find that to be a mistake. It's fun to troll the left. It's fun to talk about three-term Trump, right? This shit's funny. I laugh at it. But MAGA needs to move the fuck on. MAGA is Make America Great Again. It's not Trump. It's about making America great again. We need to be spending this time not only celebrating Trump's victories, the few and far between they've been under this current administration, but promoting J.D. Vance as the up-and-coming individual that has the torch passed to him to be the new face of MAGA. That's what needs to happen. Like, when Trump is gone, MAGA falls apart unless MAGA has a clear and obvious successor. I think Vance has been doing a very good job marketing himself as such. I don't know that Trump has been doing a good job of marketing Vance as such.
I know that you and I have had these conversations now for about 10, 15 years. I know I sound different than what I used to, but we're in a different situation than what we used to be in. And I would hope that the president would acknowledge that things are very difficult for a lot of people, that they're challenged. The Democrat on your show who talked about affordability, and here's that your message.
I agree, Paul.
That is absolutely correct. If you can't afford your home, you can't afford your health care, if you can't even afford your fuel or your food, you're in trouble.
But why can't they afford it? Why can't they afford it? Because of the left. Normally, I would blame the Uniparty. But there is no Uniparty in a place like New York that is a left-wing stronghold. There is not a Republican Party to be a back-end evil boogeyman with the left, because the left just outright controls it. The Uniparty is more of a national thing. But when you get down, or maybe even a state thing, but when you get down to the city level, there's no right wing for there to be a Uniparty with. So yeah, how do you convince people that the individuals, that the party they've been voting for consistently for 20 fucking years plus is the reason they're in these problems, when that same party keeps promising them, here's your free shit, here's your free bus ride, here's your state-ran grocery stores, here's $10,000 a month in food stamps, even for illegal immigrants. By the way, we don't check IDs when it's time to fucking vote! Shout out Gamer Empress for the raid. How you doing, you beautiful bitch? I love you, girly.
And we need these people working together for all of us so that this affordability is addressed, this confidence is restored, and in the end, we have the country and the system that we deserve.
Frank Luntz, brilliant to have you on after such a big night for American politics. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Piers. I appreciate it.
Let's go back to the panel. Aaron Mate, I mean, as always, Frank cuts through a lot of the kind of tribalism and made some really good points there. What did you think about what he said? Today's show is sponsored by Oxford Natural, makers of the Optimum Day and Optimum Extension deadline has passed. Books are a mess. Experts will determine save. Call 1-800-958-1 Network.
Here we go.
I think he's recognizing that Republicans have a real problem. Donald Trump campaigned successfully on the problem of affordability, the price of eggs, the price of other staples, but has come to office, and what has he done? He's cut Medicaid. He's now providing over a government shutdown in which 42 million people who need SNAP benefits to get food are being.
No. Look, government shutdown's fine. Government shutdown ain't fucking real. 8% of the fucking government's not working. Whoop-de-doo. Shut it down more. Don't even shut down more. Fire more. We don't need the government. It's nothing but bloat. All right? And the Democrats didn't want to have shit in their bills about, oh, I don't know, free fucking healthcare and food stamps and whatnot for people that shouldn't be in this country. This shutdown wouldn't be happening. Now, frankly, like I said, I don't think enough of the government shut down. Burn it all to the ground. I don't give a fuck. You know your boy's an anarchist. That being said, let's not sit here and pretend the shutdown is Trump's fault. It's not. And I just spent the last hour railing against Trump, so I feel like I'm being pretty fair and unbiased here, because I do think this Trump administration, this first year of Trump's presidency, Trump 2.0, has been a failure. But this is one of the few things where it's not a failure, nor is it his fault.
Being denied it because of his party's refusal to extend healthcare subsidies for millions of people. And what is he offering people that who he promised that he'd make America great again? Nothing. He just recently bragged about how he's redecorating the White House, built a new bathroom. How does that help average people? And that's the fundamental problem. Trump successfully tapped into real discontent. I'll give him credit for that. He tapped into real outrage over Democratic Party elite failures. But now you have someone in the face of Zohran Mamdani and his grassroots movement actually talking about the issue of affordability while presenting concrete proposals. And I think Frank Luntz is very correct to recognize that for Republicans, who are the current party in power, they control the White House and both chambers of Congress, that this is a real problem for them. And by the way, also...
Yeah, it is a real problem. It is a real problem. And you want to know what? You want to know how to fix this problem, Republicans? Like, look me in the eye. Look me in the eye, Republicans, right-wingers, conservatives, in politics, obviously not you guys in the chat. You want to know how to fix this? Tell Israel to go fuck themselves. Quit sending money and support to fucking Israel. We don't give a fuck about Israel. You want step numero uno to bring back some good fucking faith? Kick Israel to the goddamn curb and release those motherfucking Epstein files. That's how you do that.
Piers, if I may, on this issue of this pastor who keeps coming up, this Muslim leader who Zohran Mamdani took a photo with, again, if you look at the specifics of that case,
thank you, Calvin Harris. Thanks,
he
Jesse.
was an unindicted co-conspirator, former terrorism prosecutor, later criticized his inclusion in a list in that case because basically some of the suspects.
EB makes it very good. Yes. EB put in the chat, and I will reiterate it here. I am not suicidal. I am not suicidal, even though I'm saying Netanyahu can go fuck himself. By all means, bomb all the brown people in Gaza you want. I don't give a shit. Just don't use our money to do it. Bomb them all. I'm not suicidal. Hey, yo, let's find out about them Epstein files and why there are people on the left and the right and Hollywood actors and musicians and pretty much anyone with money and status and control raping children. I am not suicidal.
In the World Trade Center bombing attended his mosque around the time of the bombing. So that's like basically
Well, this is the hill you choose to die on. You are still apologizing for this guy? Wow.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
I can't believe that.
That's like, excuse me, I'll finish my sentence. I'll finish my sentence. I'll finish my sentence. That's like, excuse me, I'll finish. I didn't interrupt you. I'll finish my sentence.
Manny Katan, this stream is monetized, but honestly, it's going members only after this, which means I really won't get any revenue for it. So for those of you that would like to donate to your boy to make sure I can continue to do this, it would be appreciative. Because, yeah, the monetization's probably gone on this at this point.
That's like blaming the pastor of George W. Bush's church for the Iraq War. And these are the smears of people who can't contend with the fact that you have a candidate in Zohran Mamdani who has grassroots support, record turnout in New York City, and is galvanizing people on the issues that impact their lives.
I think there's an even... I apologize.
Unindicted co-conspirator, meaning they can't prove that he was in the room, but he was in the room.
No, they can't prove anything. They didn't in the first place. It's a red herring. Give it up.
Bro, are you literally trying to stick up? Are you really trying to stick up for this guy? Are you really trying to stick up for this guy?
Yes, I am.
And Piers,
he's a respected Muslim leader who didn't do anything wrong. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. You're desperately trying.
I'm very desperate. Piers, mind you, on Sunday, Mamdani was in a gay club. In a gay club, pandering to the gay people to try to get votes. And let me explain something to you. People were like,
what do you mean pandering to gay? What do you mean?
Muslim, right?
What do you mean?
See, that's what I was about to bring up. Yes, pandering to gay people. Mamdani's a Muslim. Muslims don't like homos. Muslims throw gays off roofs and shit. Muslims are like, oh, rainbow flag? Like, yeah, I would consider that pandering to the gay folk. Yo, shout out, Hugo. Thank you for the gift of membership, man. Truly appreciated.
Holy shit, I'm gonna come.
Pandering to gay people.
He was pandering.
You mean trying to campaign
because
to
I'm
his
going to
voters?
finish right now because there's something.
Okay,
you know where
please
he's
do.
from? Uganda. Do you know how Uganda treats gay people? Have you been to Uganda?
Yes.
Have you heard what Ugandans do?
Is Zohran
that's where he's
Mamdani
from.
responsible for
He's
the-
a Muslim
Zohran-
dude from
this
there.
is what I'm talking
and what
about.
he's practicing, Piers, what he's practicing is called taqiyya, okay? It's a practice in Islam, all right, Piers, that you deceive and you lie about stuff just to have people to further your Islam agenda. You're being
but hang on,
duped,
Vinny,
bro.
Vinny,
You're
hang
being
on,
duped.
Vinny,
He's a
Vinny,
liar.
hang on,
He's a
Vinny,
liar.
Vinny. Hang on, just because he's from Uganda doesn't mean he agrees with all the policies of Ugandan governments or all the laws.
He's Muslim, Piers. He's Muslim. He's Muslim. How do Muslim people feel towards gays? Are you guys lost?
It's not being bigoted to state an objectively true thing, such as Muslims, by their own religious doctrine, don't like the gays. Like, what are we talking about here? That's not bigoted. It's an objective fact. Again, this is why the left is so infuriating. While your boy doesn't like the right, this is why the left will always be worse, because you could take an objectively true statement, but because it doesn't coincide with their inside feely parts, they'll call you racist and bigot and homophobe and Nazi and insert any instant phobe here. Dudes being called a bigot for talking about an objective fact about the Muslims.
Bigot.
Are you lost?
Well, there are many
I'm not a
Muslims who have no
bigot.
problem
That's
with
Muslim,
gays.
bro. That's a Muslim.
Yeah, but there are many Muslims who have no
Can I
problem
jump
with
in
it.
and just a couple of facts here? Because this is all really.
Hang on. Let me bring in Mark. Let me bring in Mark and then Lindy. Mark.
Okay, a couple of things just to inject some facts. One, taqiyya isn't about lying, and taqiyya is about concealing your faith as Muslim to get over the whole, ostensibly.
Right. That is as exact. Okay, hold on. It's not about lying. It's about concealing your faith to get over on people. Yeah. So if you're a Muslim and you go to a gay bar to try and get gay votes, when your religion is anti-gay. Come on, guys.
Times of danger. At no point has Mamdani pretended not to be Muslim. If he had, you wouldn't be here arguing like this. Second, yes, let me finish. Second, yes, he's from Uganda, where Muslims, where gay people often are harassed and killed, and there are anti-gay policies in Uganda. You know who they're organized by? Christians, not Muslims. If you just Google or read one book on Uganda, you'd understand that this is a Christian practice, not a Muslim practice. Third, when we talk about Siraj Wahaj, who's the
Look, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that Christians ain't ever done bad shit to gays, right? That would be objectively wrong. However, I'm pretty sure all the major Islamic countries that are known for like just giving a little swan dive to the queer community aren't ran by Christians.
Mom, who he was in the photo with. There's absolutely no evidence that he was in the room with 9/11 conspirators. That's not even being alleged by the
We're
prosecutors.
not even talking about 9/11. We're talking about the World Trade Center bombing. Two different things.
Dude doesn't know the difference between the Trade Center bombing and the 9/11 attacks. What the fuck?
Please allow me to
We're talking
finish.
about
What I'm saying is,
World Trade number one.
please allow me to finish.
You're not even
Please
getting
allow
the
me to finish.
timeline right.
I accidentally
Yeah,
said
your timeline's off,
9/11
buddy.
as opposed to World
You didn't accidentally say 9/11. You just don't fucking know, bro.
Trade Center. That's not the point. I concede. I said the wrong word. Now I'm going to replace the wrong word with the right word, which is World Trade Center. The point still is the prosecutors don't allege that Wahaj was in the room. So there's no evidence of that, even by the people who you're appealing to for evidence. Wahaj took a picture. A better comparable example would be when Donald Trump takes a picture with Joey Merlino, the convicted mob boss, right? He did it because he didn't know who Joey Merlino was. So that's
Okay, but what about this?
who I don't believe,
All right, Mark.
who is not a terrorist. It was an acclaimed imam and celebrated in Brooklyn for his acts in the community, and that's what he was being praised for.
Look, time out.
What does
Guys,
co-conspirator mean
hang
to
on,
you?
Lindy, hang on. I think we've discussed this particular part of the Mamdani story enough. Here's the thing that I find extraordinary, and it's this, Lindy, which is he's on record, Mamdani, as wanting to defund the New York Police Department.
Thank you, Pierce. I
And
was just
calling
going to
them
bring
a
that up.
bunch of
Hot take. Hot take. Y'all ain't gonna like this. Good. Go for it. Do it. Defund the New York Police Department. Oh, you mean defund the dogs of the government that threw you in jail because you dared not wear a fucking mask at a restaurant? Yeah, maybe we don't need to be paying those motherfuckers.
By calling them a bunch of racists. I would have thought, I mean, call me old-fashioned.
Yep, you're right, Paul.
But anybody that literally posted that the racist NYPD should be defunded, that would be disqualifying to be mayor of New York. And yet here he is. Mayor of New York.
Why would that be disqualifying?
Pierce, amen. Thank
Why
you for
would that be
bringing
disqualifying
This
to say
is
you
New
should
York City.
defund the NYPD?
Absolutely,
Yeah,
New York City.
what's the answer to the question?
Mark, it's my turn.
Let Lindy
Please
go first, and I'll let you respond.
I'm not cutting you off. I'm asking a question.
Please, let me finish. 40% of unsolved murders. This is New York City, the biggest city in the country, and 40% of murders have been unsolved. And he wants to defund the police? Yeah, okay. And then according to...
Again, thus I reiterate, 40% of murders are unsolved because they're too busy doing things like throwing you in jail for not wearing a fucking mask. Needless to say, the NYPD and how much they're getting paid and their funding and whatnot, not particularly high on my priority list because they are nothing but dogs of the government state in general. The NYPD are dogs of the left.
Some studies, 25% of New York, they want to flee because of his policies, okay? He's on a speedway to hell. And another thing is, Mark, I felt like I was talking to, what's his name? Frank Luntz. I felt like I was listening to a new age therapist. Like, is he crazy? He wants to put forward people like Wes Moore and Cory Booker. Let's go through his people. Like, for example, Cory Booker tried the presidential campaign thing already. He was polling at 1% to 2%. Okay, so we already tried that. The trial balloon failed. Number 2, Wes Moore, he lied about getting a Bronze Star. These are the people.
St. Hugo says, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. That was good.
That Frank Luntz wants to be the face of the Democratic Party, then please, sounds good to me. And then he talks about the importance of Prop 50. Yes, it's important, but I also think it's a gift to Republicans because in this case, it allows Republicans to tie Gavin Newsom's failed policies to him. There's no way to disentangle the two. We are now able to tie $7 per gallon gas to Gavin Newsom. We can tie homeless encampments all across the state to Gavin Newsom. And you know what, Gavin Newsom, this is all about him running for 2028. This wasn't about the people of California. This was about
Bro, if they run Gavin Newsom in 2028, I'm going to have a ball. Content galore. Like, who is going to vote for that Ken doll? Barbie wouldn't vote for that Ken doll, as we saw with the movie.
Maybe. Hang on. Don't talk at once. Hang on. Okay, I'll come to you, Mark, in a moment. But Vinny, I did find, Mark was asking me, well, what's wrong with saying defund the NYPD? I think a lot. If somebody was running for mayor of London on a ticket of defund the Metropolitan Police, I would think that's completely disqualifying, right?
What does defunding
the idea that you brand? Well, hang on, Mark. I'll come back to you.
Hold on, Mark. He asked me a question, Mark. What are you talking about, bro? You're the mayor of the city, and you're saying to defund the police department, and you don't think that's some crazy.
Now, mind you, while I am pro defunding the police specifically in New York, I will also say that, yes, when the police are defunded, which they inevitably will be, the taxpayers paying for his private security ain't gonna go down in any way, shape, or form. He's certainly gonna continue to have all of his armed dudes in black outfits around him.
Crazy outlandish ish to say.
He's actually not saying that. He's actually not
when I tell you,
well, he did say that.
God, listen,
he did say
Aaron.
Not during the campaign.
Aaron, your job
not during the campaign, but it is on his record.
Every single lie.
Yes, let him finish.
It's on his record. And let me explain something, Pierce. A couple of lies. He hates billionaires, right? Who funded his campaign? Soros, okay?
Finally! We're fucking 35 minutes in, and it finally got brought up that his entire grassroots campaign was funded by fucking Soros. I showed this in a goddamn tweet before these motherfuckers got to it.
He lied about defunding the police. He said he took that back. He lied about his aunt wearing a hijab on the subway. She wasn't his aunt, and she wasn't in New York City. Hold on. And he wants to legalize prostitution. And he wants to legalize prostitution. Or am I lying about that?
No, he doesn't.
You have to stick up. Your narrative has to stick it. You have to. Because you're full of it, bro. And hold on, last thing, and I'll give you the floor.
Everything
I'll give you the floor.
said is
And Lindy
false.
nailed it. Cory Booker, Westmore. Hold on, I'll give you the floor. Give me 10 seconds. Piers, you heard Frank Luntz, and Lindy's right. They want to name all these Democrats. What's the first order of business that Newsom, Cory Booker, Westmore, they're all going to do? Number one, they're going to open up the border because they love illegals, okay? That's going to be number one. So every American that's watching this, don't get it twisted.
Okay, Vinny.
The moment a Democrat comes into power, the border's wide open. And what are you going to do? Nothing. Because nobody in your family's getting freaking touched by it.
Wait,
So
sure.
shut up with that noise.
Wait. Don't all talk at once. Don't all shout at once.
Can I make this one quick
Hang
point
on,
about the
hang
border?
on.
No,
Hang
I'm still
on.
responding to the first point that you made.
If you all talk, no one can hear any of you. Mark Lamont Hill, the floor is yours.
I'll be real. None of them are worth listening to, but I am, and that's the difference. That's why y'all are here. They're not worth listening to, but your boy is.
Thank you. What I'm disputing here is how we're defining, or very interestingly, not defining defunding. You all are saying defunding and laying it out there, as many people have, which would suggest that he's saying, let's get rid of the police department and take care of all of, and get rid of all of its resources. That we're just going to fire the police.
No, nobody said that. No, nobody even alluded to that's what he meant by defunding the police. Defunding the police could be something as simple as we have given them a state grant budget for, let's say, $20 million. Now we're going to give them $15 million. Okay, that is still a defunding. They now have less resources to work with. And because of that, they are going to, let's use the little Asian gal's, 40% unsolved crime statistic. Now it might be 45% unsolved murders. No one ever even alluded to him just getting rid of the fucking cops.
Which is not what he's saying. If he were saying that, that probably would be disqualifying to be mayor. What defunding means is taking money out of the police department and placing it in other departments where that works.
No, there's never been any indication the money would go somewhere else. Now, realistically, would it probably? Yes, it would. Democrats love to spend that money. But no, you're conflating two different things here.
Could be done. So when you give the example of, let me finish. So when you give the example of unsolved murders, defunding does not affect unsolved murders in that way. In fact,
Yes, it would. Yes, it would. If you defund the police, if you take financial resources away, then that is now less money that would go into, let's say, obvious things like evidence gathering, DNA testing. Maybe you now have to hire less cops because your department cannot afford it. By the way, I've already said I'm on board with defunding specifically the NYPD because they are not a real police force. They are dogs of the state, but that's neither here nor there. The fact of the matter is, yes, it actually would 100% contribute to a lessening of already that 40% unsolved murder rate.
Contrary, it would help to solve murders, and I'll tell you how.
When detectives are still part of the police force. Manhattan, you're thinking a private detective. Private detectives do not solve cases on their own. Private detectives work with the established police force, but detective, the rank of detective is a rank within the police department.
When police come out right now, and I'm only telling you this as someone who's written several books on this and has been part of the defunding movement for a decade, so you can shake your head, but I'm only giving you facts. You can disagree with my approach, but I'm telling you what the actual defunding movement is. When we say defunding, what we're talking about is saying right now, if someone has a drug overdose or someone has a mental
bounty hunters exist to catch individuals, to catch alleged criminals on the run. But once they are caught, they are then delivered to the police. Now, bounty hunters often have agreements with local law enforcement in terms of financing and funding. So if you defund the police, then the police don't have the money to pay the bounty hunters the reward in general. So even then, bounty hunters aren't an answer to that.
health crisis, the police get sent out there. When someone is jaywalking, the police have to stop them and give them a ticket in many cities. We're using the police as tax collectors, as therapists, and as counselors. Defunding says, let's take some of those resources that we're making the police do for jobs that they shouldn't be doing, and let's give them to therapists, to social workers, to drug treatment counselors, and let the police focus on, I don't know, policing. And so defunding
yeah, but he also
is
called. Yeah, but Mark, hang on, Mark. He also called.
I just want to say accurately define.
Well, hang on.
Even if you disagree with it.
I understand. No, I listened to you. You had the floor. But he also called the NYPD a racist organization. Racist.
Also, he said queer liberation.
No, hang on, Lindy. Hang on. Please, look. It's much easier if everyone answers the question I pose to them. So let me just ask.
All right, hold on. Man of Kenton. Let's say you've got an independent third-party company of forensic science individuals, right? Who would pay them to do the third-party analyzing? It would still be the police force. So the police force don't have the funds to pay the third-party forensic science company. We're still running into the same problem. We're absolutely still running into the same problem here. Like, nothing. I get what you're saying, but thus far, everything you said, what about this or this, ties back to the police funding the vet that it's being done. Why not from the DA office? Well, the DA's office there to prosecute the crimes. You've got to have so you have to have the investigation done to present the evidence to the DA for them to then do the prosecutions. Or you know, so yeah, I mean, it's still, the DA is the second tier. That's where it goes after all the investigations and whatnot are done. Now you could say, why not have the DA, use that stuff instead? Well, they still got to collect that data and that information from the police. So where the money is at that point it's really not even relevant.
Mark, do you believe the NYPD is racist?
Yes.
All of them?
Oh God, there it is.
No, you just moved the goalpost.
Black,
No, hold on.
Middle Easterns, they're all racist.
No, hold on. You asked me if the department was the institution, and then you just said all of them as in individuals. Do I think every police officer is racist? Of course not. But we're talking about systemic racism. It's just like saying the school system sucks. It doesn't mean every teacher sucks, but the system itself doesn't work.
Going after crime does not make you racist.
I agree, but shooting unarmed black people does.
Did he really just... Hold on. Did he really... Oh, let's find out some statistics here. I'm just truly curious. Let's see. Just curious. I'll share my screen in just a sec, guys. All right. Just out the gate. And if you guys find anything a way I can word this better, fair enough. What percentage of shots fired by police in the New York Police Department are at unarmed black individuals? I cannot identify a reliable statistic that shows the percentage of shots fired by the New York Police Department that are aimed at unarmed black individuals. So it's such a low number that we don't even have a statistic for it. And no, stop and frisk was done under Giuliani, and that was in the 90s, and that was quickly removed after Giuliani was out of office. Hey, Matt, congrats.
Let me bring in Aaron. 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 Let me bring in other things. Let me bring in Aaron, please.
And attack that, or you can address what I actually said.
Let me bring.
All right, I'll phrase it that way. I'll phrase it that way, Matt. Give me one moment here. I'll phrase it that way. How many unarmed black individuals are shot by New York police? All right. Couldn't locate a reliable figure for how many unarmed black individuals have been shot by New York Police Department. So, no change. No difference. None whatsoever.
In Aaron.
Crime is up 30% in New York City.
I'm going to bring in Aaron if he kills me. So let me bring in Aaron.
You can't die, Pierce.
Here's my problem with Mamdani and why I call him a wolf in sheep's clothing. I'm always very distrusting of politicians who post this kind of stuff 3-4 years ago, but now want us to believe that's not their real opinion. I think that is what he genuinely feels about the NYPD. And by the way, he's allowed to. We live in a free country. He can express that view, and I believe it was honestly held. But this sudden transformation to, oh, no, I don't think the NYPD is racist. Oh, no, I don't think that they should be defunded and so on. It's just a little bit too close to when he did believe that for me to think this guy is a serious person. You know, his views...
That'd be a terrible way to phrase that, Manicanton, because that you're not specifying by police. It would just be that you just say gunshots.
Haven't changed in 3 years. His desire for power has, Aaron.
Sure, yeah. I mean, people will sometimes say things to get elected. That's called being a politician. It's part of the job. And I don't know what's inside his head. I don't know what his views are. But
this dude has spent the whole time capping for Mamdani. Then he gets called out on Mamdani lies. Like, oh, that's just part of being a politician. Yeah, politicians lie. We all know that. When you know, like good goddamn well, he throws a bitch fit about every single Trump lie. The inconsistency amongst these motherfuckers, I swear, dude.
There's plenty of evidence, as Mark laid out, for why one would think that the NYPD is a racist institution. Not saying every single police officer, but institutionally is. And so I understand why he would think that. And on the issue of policy, defunding the police, Mark laid out what that means. Mamdani wants to create a Department of Community Safety, promoting community-based solutions to problems that can be handled by people in the community, which is proven. There's a long a scholarship on this about how these solutions work, and other cities do it.
There's scholarship on it. Show me an actual real-world example on where it works. Now, mind you, as an ANCAP, I'm all for private police, not government-funded in the slightest. So this isn't even me capping for the police.
And it has support among a majority of New York City Council, so it's not even a radical thing. And yeah, listen, I'm sure Mamdani is being pragmatic.
Just because it has support from majority doesn't mean it's not radical. All right, if we had a council get together and say, you know what? We support the age of consent being 9 years old. It's got majority support, so it's not radical. Motherfucker! Age of consent being 9 years old, majority or not, that's pretty fucking radical. Hashtag Islam.
In some ways, it's called being a politician. You have to make compromises sometimes. But the bottom line is this. He centered the issue of affordability. He spoke to issues that nobody else was talking about. He sent a message of hope across the country to people who are feeling left out of politics. And look what happened in New York City.
Who gives a fuck about whether a message of hope was sent across the country? He's the fucking mayor of a single city. What the rest of the country got to do with that? The fuck that got to do with me? Shout out Lenny Hondo becoming a member. You love to see it. Let's get you a clip, son.
You can't keep getting away with it!
Federal law overrides state law when it's a matter of national, like constitutional aspects, things that are laid out in the Constitution. Otherwise, state oversees federal.
He got more than 100,000 people to turn out for him, to volunteer, to knock on doors. So people feel connected to his message. People feel that he stands by his convictions. And he got a record turnout, almost double the number of voters turned out in this election than did 4 years ago.
But only 51% voted. Only 51% voted for him, and you know a large number of people voted for the other Democrat.
Only the majority.
Well, no, he did enough to win.
He's peddling
Wait
a bunch
a minute,
of lies.
Lindy, don't start shouting. Enough to win, but but pretty close with the other Democrat candidate, who is the kind of antithesis on the Democrat side of everything Mamdani stands for, which comes back, I think, to the original point I was making.
What up,
it could be
Kaya?
a very great night for Mamdani, unquestionably, a great night for the progressive left wing of the Democratic Party. But actually, if he turns out to be a dud, as we've seen in the UK with Keir Starmer's Labour Party, and he can't deliver on the promises, and he ends up just taxing the hell out of everybody, if that happens, this could become a real millstone around the neck of the Democrats.
Well, by definition, Stoney Kenobi, 51% is a majority. It's a small majority, but it's a majority nonetheless. Now, mind you, this is 51% of an already split. So it's like, he won 50% of the Democratic votes. So between him and Cuomo, that means Cuomo got 49%, right? So he actually only won a majority of an already fractured base.
Into the midterms and then particularly the general election, I think. Lindy.
Well, listen, sure, of course, anything's possible.
President Trump has already said he's going to withhold $18 billion. Aaron, I'm talking. President Trump has already promised, he's vowed to withhold $18 billion in federal funding. Governor Hochul has also said she's not going to, go all in all the socialist policies. So where is he going to get his money from? All the billionaires are fleeing. Hundreds of thousands of people might leave New York. Where do you think he's going to get the money to fuel his boondoggle? This is absolutely insane. And by the way, I want to quote exactly what he said. This is not us putting words in his mouth. He said,
I get it. Look,
queer liberation means defund the police. And for you to have to interpret what he said and use a Zohran Mamdani dictionary to put the best light on his words is absolutely shameful. He hates these people. He thinks they're racist.
I won't lie. I think that's retarded. The tiny hats. We say the fucking Jews, guys. We're not fucking kindergartners. We can say the Jews. The Jews use the broom of Islam to take down the West. I think that's fucking retarded. I've already made my stance on Israel and shit like very, very loudly on this stream already. I don't give a fuck about Israel. I think we need to get out of Israel. Don't think we need to be funding Israel. So I don't give a shit about that. But the idea that like the Jews secretly use a cabal of fucking Muslims to take out Christians, like no, that's a big claim. There's gonna need to be serious evidence for that. I think there's zero evidence for that. Let's just say that Muslims are already doing a good enough job of that on their own. They don't need the Jews to help them with that, especially considering the Jews and the Muslims really love fucking killing each other. So I don't think they're gonna be like, let's stop killing each other, but pretend we're still killing each other to the to the world stage when really we're gonna secretly combine to go against the Christian. There's no evidence for that. Shout out Hypno, how you doing, homie? Hypno emojis in the chat, crew.
You'll remember.
No,
if you remember, look, just to remind you, if you're a member of the NYPD. Your new mayor 5 years ago said the NYPD were racist, anti-queer, and a major threat to public safety and called to defund you. In 2023, just 2 years ago, at the Democrat Socialists of America's convention, Mamdani said, we have to make clear that when the boot of the NYPD is on your neck, it's been laced by the IDF. Vinny, you're...
Wait, really? Grand Theft Auto 6 getting delayed? No, I'll look into that after this video.
Final thought on that.
That was 100% correct. He's referring to the fact that the NYPD
by the IDF. Because Piers, I don't know about you. You're in New York, Piers. I'm from New York, and there's nothing that makes me happy. You know what makes me comfortable, Piers? That if I'm getting stabbed or burned to death on the subway, I want a social worker to come and just...
No, that's a fucking terrible argument. No, a much better argument than this would be like, hey, if I'm getting stabbed or burned to death, I'd like to be in a city that, I don't know, doesn't not allow me to own fucking guns. I'd like to be able to defend myself and not have to run the risk of ending up like Daniel goddamn Penny. I would like a police force, if there was going to be a police force there, to not have a fucking 12-pound trigger pull on their, or 8-pound trigger pull, whatever it is, a stupidly high-pressure trigger pull on their fucking guns, which is what's mandated in New York. It's 8 pounds or 12 pounds, I don't remember which. Either way, that's a stupid high-pressure trigger pull. That's what I would like.
Calm the murderer down, okay? If you've never lived in New York and you've never been on a subway, don't talk to me about crime and cops being racist. They have the hardest freaking jobs on the planet. I've lived in New York for the last 20 years. And look at the stats about how racist they are. And what are the stats? What are the odds? Give me the percentage of a cop shooting an unarmed black person in America. What's the number?
By the way, for those of you that are just joining, because I see the numbers have gone up, shout out. We did try to look that number up. Even ChatGPT couldn't give us a number. It's like, yeah, we don't have any reliable statistics. Guess it don't happen that often then.
So outlandish that it's such a big thing that they're racist. Give me a break. You guys are all being duped by Mamdani, but I love what Lindy said. Lindy, I'm actually going to adopt that mindset. Is let them do it, Piers. Let them happen. They're going to freaking feel it. And all the New Yorkers that are leaving, that have all the money, when they're all left and the dust settles, and be like, wait a minute. Who's going to pay for all the free shit that Mamdani said? And you guys, they're going to feel the freaking wrath. You'll see it, Piers.
Well,
it's
interesting. People, hang on, final point. People are trying to compare this to London, where Sadiq Khan's been mayor now, won 3 terms. Actually, it's the wrong comparison. They happen to both be Muslims. But Sadiq Khan's quite a establishment figure of the Labour Party. Go back to the start of the century to Red Ken Livingston, who was a genuine socialist. He presided over London for 8 years, and you know what? It wasn't that bad. London survived. So whatever happens under Mamdani, I suspect, knowing New York as I do and having lived and worked here for 20-odd years, New York will survive whatever Mamdani can throw at it. And if it turns out that he has the magic touch and he can make
will not.
what nobody...
Okay, that's not true. I do believe that Mamdani has the magic touch. But being as he's a Muslim, it's a magic touch that's reserved for 9-year-old girls. Just going by the book, going by Allah, allegedly, in Minecraft.
He has done in modern times work, socialism, in New York. Who knows? You might have President Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez to look forward to in 2028.
God help us.
Help us, God.
God help us.
You never know. Guys, thank you. Very spirited debate. I appreciate it all. Thank you very much.
Yeah, dude, that was painful. That was absolutely painful. Vinny was right on a lot of points, but because he was shouting about it like a fucking moron, they didn't go through. You've got what must... The dudes on the right could not be that ignorant. They've got to be deep state operatives. Or if they're not deep state operatives, then my God, they are just brainwashed, hoodwinked motherfuckers. And you have the little Asian girl in the middle who, again, I don't trust her in the slightest. She was a Democrat fundraiser for years. She jumped ship because the Biden administration was terrible. But it wasn't because she disagreed with the policy. She disagreed with the fact that they were so bad at it, they were losing. I don't think that she's got any sort of conservative ideology bone in her body. So, yeah, all in all, this was a shit show. New York is cooked. New York is, they're dunzo, gonzo. They're going to be eating motherfuckers in the street in 3 years. It's going to be, I mean, it's literally going to look like Escape from New York in the 1987 movie. But these are just my opinions. Let me know yours in the comments down below. Let me know on X, I mean, both the word, and please do subscribe. I'm a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news every day. Not always about the current political fiascos, but anime, movies, music, Magic the Gathering, you name it. Check me out on Instagram at wordsparadise_Leon and become a member for $4.99 a month. You can join the Discord. Shoot with the articles we go over on a day-to-day basis. Choose the videos we react to on the Friday night live streams, and of course get involved with over 200 other vital idols. We are a bright, beautiful, glowing, vibrant community that I cannot wait to go even further, because we do care about diversity. Only one kind of diversity of thought that's interesting to you. Join the Discord, hit subscribe, and until next time, it is all here in the Nerdosphere. This has been Words of Paradise. Now, we're not ending the show yet. We got about another hour 15, so we're not ending the show quite yet. I am going to run to the bathroom real quick. I've drank a lot of water and tea on this stream, so I apologize, crew. But, yeah, so we'll be back in just a moment, and we'll look into that GTA stuff before I continue with the regularly scheduled programming. Back in a bit. Share GT stream. Alrighty, Q. Sorry about the delay. Let's get into it. Alright, let's take a look and see what Hypno had to say about that. GTA 6. Breaking, Take-Two stopped falls as much as 18% for announcing that GTA 6 will be delayed until November 2026. Look at that drop. Holy shit. Damn. Grand Theft Auto 6 delayed once more. You actually thought I mean, to be fair, yeah, I'm not surprised by this the slightest. I can't wait till it releases at $100. I can't. And people are still gonna fucking buy it. I wasn't excited for this game anyway. I don't like the GTA games after the PS2 era. Like, dude, San Andreas, Vice City, that shit was goated. I didn't like GTA 4. I didn't like GTA 5. This ain't, let's see. Social media guy at Rockstar, we have to make another GTA 6 delay post. Yup, facts. Alright, here's the actual post from Rockstar Games. Hi everyone, Grand Theft Auto 6 will now release Thursday, November 19, 2026. We're sorry for the delay, adding additional time to what we realize has been a long wait. These extra months will allow us to finish the game with the level of polish you've come to expect and deserve. Well, to be fair, in the modern gaming industry, the level of which I've come to expect is that it's going to be a broken, buggy, fucked up, disgusting launch out the gate, and I don't think any amount of delays is going to stop that. Now, in a general sense, is it better that these games get delayed and are functioning out the gate as opposed to being released in a traumatic state? Yes, like that's good. I like that in general. I don't believe in the game industry to be able to deliver that. And I wasn't really excited for this game anyway. What I can tell you is that games that were releasing between like March and May, oh bro, they're like, whew, oh baby, like, that is a load off their toad. Games that were projected to be released in November are now like, fuck! So yeah, this is good. This is gonna be funny. Let's see what people are saying. Let's see what the general sentiment is. We want to thank you again for your patience support while we wait a little bit longer. We're incredibly excited for players to experience the sprawling state of Leonida and return to the modern day Vice City. Sincerely, Rockstar Games. Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit drinking. Note suggest content to be shown with the post. A proposed community note that just says, bro, you gotta be kidding me. Oh, that's great. Me and bro playing GTA 6. Yeah. Is this real? Is this a real image? Hold on. Ain't no way. There's no way this image is real, is it? Nah, there's no way. 100% AI. It looks good, dude. It looks good. And I can imagine, like, the way celebrities do shit like this nowadays, you know, they're always going in to try and be, like, super relatable. Like, when fucking Tim Walz and AOC played Crazy Taxi, I can 100% believe this was real. 1 hour here, 7 years on Earth. Good. We wait here for GTA 6 to be released. Psych! You need a publisher to get this thing back on track. DMs are open. Oh, fuck out of here. Our work on Bollocks Pit speaks for itself. GTA Online, this is getting too tough. Take it easy way out. Suicide is almost always an option. Oh, that's awesome. Yep, dude. Fuck GTA. It doesn't. They could delay it. They could delay it 1,000,000 times. It's still gonna be the fucking biggest game release in the history of gaming ever. It's unstoppable. It is too big to fail. 100% too big to fail. I wish it would. I don't know. For those people that are invested in GTA 6 and want to play it, I guess good on you. But I think that this $2 billion game, $100 the rumored $100 price tag at minimum, I think GTA 6 is proof incarnate of all the negative aspects of the game in the modern day gaming industry, all the bloat, all the shit that players just don't care about, accentuated tenfold. I could not give a shit less about GTA 6. I think it is an indictment on the gaming industry. When you've got games like Schedule 1, which is a, like, low tier, like, I don't want to say low effort, because it's clearly not low effort, but like, look at the visuals on Schedule 1. It's more GTA than anything modern GTA, and it was an indie game made by one dude that came out to like 500,000 players on Steam just in early access. So yeah, I don't give a fuck about, you know, AAA GTA 6 or quadruple A or whatever it is. To me, it's GTA 6 very existence is an indictment on the gaming industry as a whole. I can't look at it in any other way, shape, or form. How's that an L take, DL10? How's that an L take? Like, explain to me how that's an L take. You've got a game that's taken them over 10 years to make, and the marketing is about, like, look at how realistic the bubbles are in this beer. Bro, I don't give a fuck about the bubbles in the beer. I don't really have any interest in AAA games. You should care. I'll bet a live stream playing that game would do and I won't do it. It's not releasing. It's not even releasing day and date on Steam. That's another thing. It's not even releasing day and date on Steam. It'll be another, once it releases on consoles, it'll be another year before it comes out on Steam. So there's not even an avenue for me to play it on launch anyway. Imagine if still used AI to create graphics. I bet it. I bet there's some sort of AI that was used in the making of it, and I don't care about that. I'm okay with that. I'm very pro AI. So. Right, right. Rockstar is a console developer, and consoles are dead. Console wars are dead. Consoles are dead. The only thing that matters is PC and Nintendo. That's it. You get all of your gaming needs met with PC and Nintendo. I am not going to buy a PS5 that I will never play. Because any game that comes out on PS5 will come out a year later on PC, and it will be better. I'm not going to buy a subpar version of a game that I'm already not interested in when the better version will be available in a year. Nobody on God's green earth can try and convince me that Baldur's Gate 3 on PS5 is better. I'll be real. PS5's only exclusive is Astrobot. Not buying an 800 console for Astro. Exactly. Exactly. Xbox isn't going to be making consoles anymore after this next one. PlayStation, they have plateaued. The only companies, FOMO, I don't have any FOMO at all. I got no FOMO for GTA. None at all. Did I like Sonic Superstars? It was alright. I liked it well enough. It was a nice little appetizer, a nice little thing to tide you over for the next big thing. But yeah, it was fine. I have it. I like it. I'll probably go back and play it more and try and get all the trophies and stuff. But I'm pretty sure I streamed it. Yeah, I streamed it. I streamed playing Sonic Superstars. The best version of Indie is on PC, GOG. Yeah, I didn't play the Warriors game. I heard it was good. The one for, like, the PS2 era. You say, but the jiggle physics? Guess what? I can mod in even better jiggle physics. I can mod in even better jiggle physics. My viewers, FOMO? Fuck them. Fuck you guys. I'm gonna be real. I love y'all to death. I wouldn't be here without you. But if you want me to play GTA, fuck off. I got better shit to do. I got way better games to play. Way more fun games to play. Me and Cindy were playing Gauntlet the other night. That shit was hilarious. That shit was a blast. Me and Cinevere playing Gauntlet was goddamn incredible. It was hilariously fun. I will play Gauntlet 2014 10 streams over again before I fucking buy a PS5 to play that homo-ass GTA 6. I don't give a fuck about GTA 6. Resident Evil Remake jiggle physical mods are the best. I haven't used any of those, but I don't doubt it. I don't even fight about being handheld. Steam Deck, maybe it is. I don't know. Reason Nintendo matters, reason Switch matters, is because Nintendo actually puts out good fucking games. Good IPs I care about. And I don't have a Switch 2. And I ain't going to get a Switch 2 until there's a new Zelda game. But when there's a new Zelda game, I'm getting the Switch too. I don't care if the Steam Deck has better specs. I'm a Zelda fan. I want to play Zelda. I want to play Zelda on the hardware it was made for. So the best console games were on PS3 versus the PC, but that was because of the sound design. Maybe. I don't know. I like my PS3 back in the day, but I don't live on nostalgia. I don't live on nostalgia. We ain't in the PS3 era anymore. In the modern day, in 2025, the only things you need to game properly are a PC and motherfucking Nintendo. Why? Because you ain't playing, you ain't gonna get Legend of Zelda or Mario on a Nintendo. You ain't gonna get Metroid, on a PC, I mean. You ain't gonna get Metroid 4 on a PC. Lover Slab does the best physics mods. Maybe. I don't know about none of that. Dead Space, Force Unleashed had DTS sound. Sure. Like that's... Again, you're talking PS3 shit. I don't care. That was back in the day. PC playing those games pirated, purchasing them on Steam. No. I don't pirate Nintendo games. Look, Nintendo got a lot of issues. Nintendo got a lot of problems. I don't like Nintendo. I think they've got a lot of scummy business practices. But at the end of the day, I care about the quality of the game when it comes out. I care about the game. Right? If the next Zelda game is a good fucking game, I'm buying it because I'm a Zelda fan. And I want to support the shit that I like. I want to support good quality products. So if the next mainline Zelda game is a good quality Zelda game, I'll buy it. It's that simple. Yeah, I support products that I like to support. I don't pirate games. I don't do piracy with gaming. I do piracy for just about everything else. I do piracy for anime. I do piracy for movies if need be. Now, I like going to the theater. I'm a theater junkie. I love going to the theater. To me, it's an experience. But, like, if it's a movie that's not worth going to the theater, but I need to watch it for, like, a stream or something, yeah, piracy. I'm very pro-piracy. But I don't pirate games. I don't. It's not worth it to me. Nintendo might be the only console I'll ever buy, and I love Nintendo. Exactly. Because whether we like them as a company, whether we like their business practices, the quality of their work speaks for itself. Quality of that work speaks for itself. Don't VM Bazite. Just install. I don't know what that means. Got my PS5 a long time ago for 144 taxes. Keeping it because I like physical games. Yeah, I'm a physical guy. Absolutely. I'm absolutely a physical guy. Nintendo is the most pathetic that Yakuza could have become. Let's catch up on this week's One Piece chapter. I'm not. No, I'm a bit behind on One Piece. I need to catch up. I'm behind, unfortunately. Nintendo is a console. Xbox and PlayStation are less for PC. Correct. I 100% agree with that. Correct. Right. ROMs for emulators don't count. If you count that, then yeah, I'm all on piracy. But yeah, ROMs for emulators don't count. Speaking of gaming, let's get into the internet's favorite gamer, Asmongold. This weird diet's going viral right now. Look, we're in the last hour of the stream. I just want to kick back and have fun. For the last hours. Let's chill.
Polarizing streamer Asmongold has revealed his daily diet consisting of soda, beef jerky, fast food, and candy. There's somebody here.
Base diet. I wish I could do that. If I could live up a diet like that and look like Asmongold in terms of being that thin and stuff, I'd do it. But I can't, so I eat meat. I got leftover ribs from what I made last night in the fridge. I'm going to chow down on them immediately after the stream is over. I'm looking at the stream. I'm like, one more hour till ribs, baby. One more hour till ribs.
How is this dude still skinny? There's no way. See, the mind of a fatty can never even process my existence. See, being fat is a mindset. It's a frame. This is the way that people exist, right? It's a self-reporting fatty. Yeah, you can tell that. And look at this here. Look how many things that they've diagnosed themselves with. Oh my God.
Bro, AUDHD, what the fuck does that mean? MDD has to overshare a lot. Pan? What the fuck is Igor or Igor? 2008 is peak Hispanic. What the fuck is even that flag? Skimo? Bro, this person needs to be put in a camp. Like, Hitler wasn't wrong. He just chose the wrong people to go after. Dude, if Hitler were to come back today, first of all, Nick Fuentes would just be busting all sorts of nuts. But after that, if Hitler came back today, he could 100% get a do-over. And people would be all on board if it was after people like that. They'd be like, okay, maybe Hitler wasn't so bad. You see that sort of fucking flag and then calling themselves Pan/Igor. I don't even know what the fuck that means. And people be like, lightning flag, like whatever. They'd be like, I'm all in for it. I get it now.
And so I'm so schemo. Well, I mean, again, well, actually, I won't make that joke. Never mind. Let's not make that joke. And fatties can't imagine the idea of eating less. Yes, metabolism and picking which people to choose. Yes, exactly. And anyway, this is what happens, man. Calories consumed equals calories burned. And skinny people are so close to finally getting it. So how is this guy about to do it? I did this for a whole year and I didn't gain weight either. Me and Asman need to be stopped. He has muscle atrophy from not moving. This creature never developed muscle. Really? I mean, I feel like I'm able to get around just fine, but okay. And anyway, let me go back over. It drives me crazy. It drives me crazy how people associate junk food with being overweight when all it has to do is your calorie intake.
Correct.
32,000 likes.
He is correct. Yes. Dude, there's I believe he was a Harvard professor. I could be wrong. One of those prestigious fucking schools that are, you know, nothing but liberal indoctrination camps. Did this study. This was years ago. This was like 2008 or something. He ate nothing but Oreos and Twinkies and lost weight. Ate nothing but Oreos and Twinkies but lost weight. Why? Because it's all about calorie intake. If your diet is 2 Oreos a day, you're gonna lose weight. If your diet is 2 Oreos a day, your ass is gonna lose weight.
On this, by the way, the mind of a hog cannot even comprehend the idea of a caloric deficit. They don't even know what that means because inside of a fat person's mind, the only deficit to them is the food that they're not eating, right? It's like being fat's a whole mindset. It's not just like there are people that are spiritually fat, but they're skinny. And there's a lot of them. They're spiritually fat. They're trans.
I used to hang out with a dude like this. His name was Fahey. Yeah, we used to play fucking Warhammer 40K and shit like that. You remember Fahey, right, Paul? Adam Fahey in the chat? He always called himself skinny fat. No matter what the dude did, he would not gain weight. He was rail thin. But you had the dude try and run, he would get just as winded, just as fast as some fucking dump truck motherfucker. Absolutely. Dude could not exercise, could not expend any amount of energy for anything. He was a fucking toothpick. Try had the dude do a 100-meter dash and he would turn into fucking jelly. Like just liquid seeping onto the football field. 100%. He was skinny fat.
Man's fat. And you might think that's not true, but you know it is. You know it is. And you start thinking about this. Off hog, yes. This is their own culture, right? They're trans fat. Do you like eating junk food every day? I like eating what I like eating, man. That's it. And the parasitic worms in Asmongold's stomach eat 50% of his food. Yep, there it is. You can tell whether somebody's healthy by looking at their weight. You have no idea how skinny people on this earth eat absolute dog shit. So this is called hog logic, okay? And let me explain the hog logic here. Because some skinny people are unhealthy, it means that skinny is not inherently more healthy than being fat.
Skinny, 9 times out of 10, skinny will always be better than being fat, 100%. And you know what? 100 times out of 100. 100 times out of 100. You want to? If you take a starving child in Africa, you can see their ribs and shit, and you like are taunting them by not giving them water because they don't deserve it because they're in Africa instead of America, so like they don't deserve to live. Like if you see a skinny, starving African native, and then you see Nikado Avocado before he went through his transformation, you put them next to each other, the African kid is better off. The African kid is healthier.
So that's not true. Every single time you see a fat person, you see somebody who's unhealthy. Every single time that you see a skinny person, you're not sure if you see somebody who's unhealthy.
Exactly.
But every hog that you see, that's a problem. That's the difference. That's the difference right there. Every single fat person has a problem by the nature of them being fat. That's, yeah, more food.
All squares are rhombus, not all rhombus is square. That's what it is. That's the fat v skinny. All fucking fatties are unhealthy. Not all unhealthy people are fat. That's what it is. Square is always a rhombus is not always a square.
Logic, yes. It's all about eating food for them. That's it. Skinny, okay, guys. Okay. It's almost like people's bodies are born in different ways. Nope. It is probably another fat guy. And he's a big guy.
He's
big
hefty.
guy. Yep.
Oh, shit,
And,
Paul, is that you? Paul Byers,
it's almost
is
like
that
people's
you?
bodies are born in different ways. Nope. It is probably another fat guy. And
guys, I think I found Paul Byersmith's alt account. I think I found Paul Byersmith in chat. I found his alt account. This looks an awful lot like my homie Paul. Just saying.
he's a big guy. Big guy. Yep. And there are some people that are definitely built a little bit different, but if you're over 300 pounds, there's a reason for it, right? And it's not because of genetics. And so anyway, you had a lot of hogs getting mad about this. I'll read some more of the people here. The typical experience of Asmongold farting near you. Ew, I don't know about that. It's gross. And when both of his legs get amputated due to high blood sugar, you know what's going to happen whenever I have that happen? This is going to be me. Yep.
Uh-oh. Asmongold out here with the transhumanism propaganda. We were talking about it earlier, boys, with the digital ID. Transhumanism is the future. It's not the future we want, but it's the future we'll get. It's the future we're going to get. Asmongold out here sharing that transhuman propaganda. Time to cancel him.
This'll be me. I'll replace every part of my body except for
Cyborg
maybe
Roach King.
probably my
That's
forehead with being a robot. If I need robot legs, then we're going to get robot legs. If we need robot arms, we're going to get robot arms. We're going to do whatever the fuck we need, all right? And so just like the Spider-Man villain, yes, exactly. And what about your penis? Okay, so that's such an interesting question. All right.
This shouldn't be an interesting question. The answer is no. Dude, you can roboticize whatever part of you want, but you don't roboticize your cock. No robo-dick. That is where the line should be drawn.
Okay, let me think about this. Okay, all right. So, like, the answer... Okay, so the long answer...
He did that on purpose. You know good goddamn well he did that on purpose. The long answer? Come on now.
It is yes, but the short answer also is yes, right? Like, yeah, I really have to think about this a lot. Because, it actually is true. Yeah, 100%, right? We can get... it's not about make always hard. Well, no, that's annoying. Like, what do you mean? It's super annoying. And so, this is what's going to happen, guys. And so, after they have to remove all of my... organs and everything because of failure and, diabetes and all, it's okay. I'm just going to replace them with pieces of machines. And eventually, I will become a machine. That's the goal. That's the dream. That's what I imagine. That's my perfect world. And when I talk about penis, well, I just have to really think about it a lot, right? I mean, that's it. It's just really complicated. Asmongold, when he touches a vegetable, that's actually true. And this is low-key how I ate in my early 20s.
Same.
Asmongold.
I can't eat like that now. My body isn't with it anymore. This is 100%. Dude, I was so thin. Not even thin. I was in shape in high school, dude. I was in shape. I was playing soccer. I was a fucking track star. I was in great shape. You wanna know what I ate? Frozen Philly cheesesteaks all the time. Fucking McDonald's every day before school, dude. I would drive to school. I would stop at McDonald's drive-thru every morning. 100%. I would always get those sausage McMuffins. Just the bread, the cheese, the sausage, the more bread. I would get like 2 of those every fucking morning on the drive to school. I ate like shit. I was drinking underage. Dude, I was drinking so much when I was like 16, 17, 18 in high school. Well, not 18 because I dropped out of high school at 17. That's neither here nor there. Like 16, 17, I was drinking. I was eating fast food, eating a bunch of gross frozen. Man, Eggo waffles, bro, I didn't even microwave them. I ate that shit frozen because it tasted good. I ate frozen Eggo waffles because I liked it when it was frozen, had a bit of a crunch factor to it.
Diet is really crazy. This cunt doesn't shower. He drink water, exercise, clean, or eat healthy, and he somehow is skinny, alive, and having half the fucking internet listening to his rancid opinions. That's right. That's right. Easy, man. Yep, so mad. Well, do you want to know why they're mad? It's probably because they're fat. They're probably fat in real life. That's the issue.
Okay.
Is they're
they won't
fat.
be alive long
And
enough
so,
to be fat or to be mad for very long if they're fat.
Really, it can't be long now. Well, you know, maybe you're right. I don't know. And let's see here. You're tired of winning yet? Yes, exactly. Amateur artist. Well, of course he's an amateur artist. I mean, they all are now because of AI. That's just the way it is. Asmongold age, about 35. That's right. I don't hate the guy. When I listen to clips on him, he always sounds reasonable. So I hate this man viscerally.
He's a good guy.
Viscerally. I hope he gets the worst diseases imaginable. Ooh. Oh, man. I think he just makes up all this shit to maintain some level of goodwill with his audience. If they didn't think of him as a pathetic, near high support needs man-child, they'd realize he's just some rich asshole like all the others, and they turn on him pretty...
Nah, I think it's pretty, like, there's an argument for that. I don't think it's true. Like, when it comes to authenticity on the internet, no, I really do think Asmongold is literally just the living manifestation of, like, some eldritch beast that hasn't been prayed to in a millennia. So he's, like, withering away to nothing but still has power. I 100% believe everything Asmongold says about, like, his diet and shit.
Quickly. For sure, guys. Absolutely. Yep, there it is. When are you opening your church? Yeah, guys.
Asmongold made a video after his 2-week ban. Remember when he got banned on 2 weeks for stating the fact that Islam is an inferior culture? After he got banned for stating the fact that Islam is an inferior culture, he was banned for 2 weeks. Then he came back with a YouTube video called "I Cleaned My House," and it was a video of just him, like, turning his dilapidated, like, Frankensteinian mansion into a somewhat respectable abode for a meth head. No, it is real. It is all real.
There's not really, this is all fake. It's all a lie. Everything that I do is just for attention.
Dude, okay, I'm gonna be real. I clean off my streamer desk every day before stream. Otherwise, I would be able to do this as well. Like, right now, I've just got these. That's it. But, like, if you see a look at my desk before the stream, there's 2 empty cans of C4, an empty soda can, unfinished vodka from last night. I didn't even finish drinking last night. I got tired and went to bed. So, yeah, my unfinished vodka is still sitting here, plus another shot. Plus this not quite finished bottle. I could do that as well. But I clean my streaming desk every day before I actually stream.
And you can see that all of these here.
Yeah, Asmon Silver. I am Asmon Silver. I prefer Asmon Silver as opposed to Moist Scrutinizer instead of damp Scrutinizer instead of Moist Critical. Dude, somebody one time in the Saturday Night Hypnosis chat said that I was a knockoff Moist Critical. They called me the Damp Scrutinizer. I streamed as the Damp Scrutinizer for like a fucking week after that.
are
Fuck,
just
let me
for
as well drink
me.
this vodka now. We got, what, 40 minutes left? Let's start drinking now.
That's good. Mm. Mm. Oh, yeah. And this is from the last 2 days. Actually, last day and a half, excuse me. And, no, two and a half days. 2.5 days. Never mind. It's 2.5 days. And I can also, people might wonder, do you ever drink out of the wrong one? No.
So I've got a disgusting story for you guys. Got a disgusting story. Back when I was 20 years old. So I used to have a 12-pack a day Coca-Cola habit. I'm not joking. I would drink a 12-pack of Coca-Cola every day. The amount of money I was spending on Coca-Cola was insane. My ex-wife fucking hated it, dude. See, Paul Byersmith remembers. See, Paul is my IRL best friend. For those of you that don't know, Paul is my IRL best friend. He can verify what I'm about to say. In terms of like my Coke habit, Coca-Cola habit. So one day I got up. So for whatever reason, I didn't finish my Coca-Cola, right? I didn't finish my Coca-Cola. I had it sitting on the bathroom sink. And I was getting up one morning, and I was getting, yeah, right, nice recovery. So I was getting up one morning, I was getting ready for work, and I cracked a Coca-Cola. And I was drinking Coca-Cola while brushing my teeth. I shit you not. I was drinking Coca-Cola while brushing my teeth. And I set the Coca-Cola on the counter. And while continuing to do my morning get ready for work ritual, I reached over and I grabbed a Coke, but it was a Coke that I had left sitting there for I don't know how many times, but it had turned gelatinous. It had turned gelatinous, and so I had Jello Coke slide down my throat, and I freaked out and pretty much went into the fetal position and like started dumping the Coke out, and it was just dripping out like jelly. I've never since not thrown away a Coke can. I've always throw away my soda cans now. Every time. I never want that to happen again. It ruined me. So always throw, yeah, it's alive, dude. It's alive. It ruined me. Yeah, it's one way to handle a Coke addiction. It fucking ruined me, dude. And someone asked if I drank bong water. No, but I did used to pour a bunch of various types of alcohol in the bottom of my hookah and smoke hookah, but instead of using water, use alcohol, and I would do it to get fucked up. I've not done that in many, many years. I'm not advocating that. I'm not saying to do it. But yeah, that was how I celebrated, dude. I celebrated the launch of Until Dawn on the PS4 like that. We poured a bunch of like peach schnapps, stuff like that in the base of our hookah, and we played Until Dawn all the way through in an all-nighter party while smoking peach schnapp hookah. And then when Fallout 4 came out, dude, I built my own hookah. So what we did, you know those piggy banks that look like giant Coca-Cola bottles? So we went to Walmart the night of the Fallout 4 midnight release. We did this like a day early so we could already have it because we cause we went to the midnight release. It was great. Got Fallout 4. We played it all night, all day. It was awesome. But the day before, we knew we were having a Fallout 4 party. So the day before, we went to Walmart. We bought one of those giant Coca-Cola piggy banks. And then we took the attachment and the stem and stuff from our existing hookah. And we filled the hookah. With blue food coloring and a bunch of different types of alcohol and water. And that way we could have our own Nuka-Cola. Let me see if I can find the picture. I might be able to find the picture of it just to prove to you guys I'm not lying. Hold on. I might be able to find the picture of this, but it's going to, you have to bear with me. All right, let me go to my photo history here. Would it be part of the mobile uploads, I wonder? Let's see. This might take me a bit to find, but it's going to be totally worth it because this thing was awesome, and I want to show it off. Where would the picture be? This is gonna take me a bit, and it's gonna bother me. Let's see. I know I had it saved somewhere. I just had to find out where it would have been saved. Let's do this. All right, it's going to take me a bit to sift through this. I'm just going to start. All right. I don't think anyone doesn't believe you. No, but I want to show it off because it was so cool. I want to show the ingenuity of my homemade Nuka-Cola Quantum Hookah. Dude, homemade Nuka-Cola Quantum Hookah. Okay? I want to show this off because it was awesome. No cameras when high school and college happened. Those histories are safe. Nah, dude, but I took a picture of this because I was so proud of it. Dude, I went all out for the release of Fallout 4. All out. We stood in line, first in line, for fucking hours. We bought the giant, nuclear bomb that came with all the previous Fallout games, so we have that as a collector's item. They even, you remember when GameStop would have, like, the giant boxes that looked like the cover art? They gave us the Fallout 4 version of that, like just to have. Like, it was so fucking cool, dude. So fucking cool. Yeah, I went all out, and we played Fallout 4 from midnight release all the way until 6 p.m. the next day. I took the day off work for this. Played Fallout 4 all the way to like 6 p.m. the next day. Went to a sushi bar. Ate a fuck ton of sushi. And then came back home and continued playing Fallout 4 until like midnight. Before we finally passed out from exhaustion. We went so fucking ham for the Fallout 4 release. It was an awesome night. We invited my dad over the next day because he's a big Fallout fan, but he didn't have a PS4 yet at the time because my dad didn't have a lot of money. And so we invited him over to play with us. And us smoking the hookah, he had never been around a hookah before, made him super fucking sick. So he had to leave after like an hour and a half. So I kind of ruined his introduction to Fallout 4. But he got his own PS4 later and got the game and fucking loved it. Ever seen Nuka Break? No, I've not seen Nuka Break. Nah, but I didn't see Nuka Break. All right, let's see. Oh shit, I think I'm getting close. I gotta keep going back. I'm just scrolling through so many old photos right now. It was more of a shooter than an RPG, I agree. But I fucking love the game. I get it. I get why people don't like Fallout 4. I understand the reasons, and I can't even really argue with many of them logically. But I fucking love Fallout. I loved the story. I had such a great time with the game. So, like, I won't ever trash people for not liking Fallout 4 because I do completely get it. But I had such a great time with the launch of that game. I've not tried Fallout London. Mainly because I've got so many mods and shit on my existing Fallout 4 game. I've just never really broke down and done it. I plan on playing Fallout London. Maybe it'll be on my when I build my new PC. Maybe it'll be up there. But yeah, no, it's just not something that I've done yet. All right, we've got to be getting close, right? Once I'm back in my old apartment, once I'm back in the photos for my old apartment, I'll know I'm getting close. Oh no, Fallout, if I didn't name my top 5 video game franchises of all time, Fallout is the only Western one. All the rest are Japanese. Fallout is the only game, the only Western game in my top 5 franchise list. That's how much I love Fallout. I've never played an Elder Scrolls game, Tommy, so I couldn't tell you. I've never played an Elder Scrolls game. I like nothing against Elder Scrolls. It's not like I dislike it or anything, but I'm a sci-fi guy over a fantasy guy. Like, I'm just not big on fantasy because nothing will ever top Lord of the Rings and D&D, old school D&D. Like, there's nothing you could ever do with fantasy that will top Lord of the Rings or what you can do in your own D&D campaigns. And so because of that, I never really got into other fantasy stuff. Aside from Zelda. If you consider Zelda fantasy, that's one of my favorite franchises of all time. I fucking love it. But yeah, no shade to Elder Scrolls. It was just never my thing. I'm going to need you to elaborate on what you mean by primitive technology videos. I don't know what you mean. You enjoy both Elder Scrolls and Fallout? Fair enough. Yeah, again, I'm not knocking it. I'm still looking for this fucking photo, by the way. Like, I feel like I've built up all this hype, and now it's not even going to be worth it. Because I didn't think it would take me this long to find. No, I would not. I would absolutely not be willing to do a D&D stream in New Blackstreet. I don't, like... The amount of time and effort it takes to do a proper D&D, even just a session. Even just a session. Catch you later, CFH90. It is so intensive that, yeah, no, I can't. I can't see myself trying to put in that work. All right, I got to be getting close. I got to be getting close because I'm in the right setting for the right apartment now. I've got to be getting close. Where is this bitch? Man, all these memories. It released in November, right? So it's got to be around these Christmas photos. It's got to be around these Christmas photos. You show up to participate? Hey, dude, if they do a D&D thing and they want to, fine, have fun. Go for it. But nah, man, I put in... Here it is! Yes! I found it! Open image in new tab. There it is. My homemade Nuka-Cola Quantum Hookah. Look at this magnificence. Is this not fucking amazing? I told y'all I wasn't lying. Dude, and that thing is filled with alcohol, food coloring, water, and like just played Fallout 4 on release night and smoked alcohol. Oh, it was so good. This was such a good fucking night, dude. So thank you, inadvertently, Asmongold, for bringing us down that track record.
You're not going to like this.
How big is that bottle? Like, that bottle was like 2.5 foot tall. You know, again, those big Coca-Cola piggy banks that you can get at like Walmart and shit. And like, when you fill up all the coins at the top and take it to the coin place and you've got like hundreds upon hundreds of dollars. That's what that was.
I can hear soda. I just have to listen to it. And I know which one is the right one. I'm serious. Because of the carbonation. I can hear it. And I can hear the bubbles.
He ain't even wrong, though. You can do that with Dr. Pepper. I don't know about other soda. But Dr. Pepper has a distinctly different sound. Like, because I'm deaf in one ear, right? I'm deaf in my left ear. I don't know how many of y'all know that. I'm deaf in my left ear. So I feel like I, have an ultra-trained right ear. And Dr. Pepper does sound different.
Even after hours, like if there's one bubble, one tiny little bubble, the tiny little bit, bro, I can put my ear up to it and I can be like, oh, yep, there it is. Are you a soda bender? I guess I must be, right? And yeah, that's the actual reason why you didn't do well on Soda Poppin's taste test. That's because, so I didn't realize how badly my taste buds were fried until I remember, so I did this thing. Let me see if I can show this, okay? Asmongold fruit tier list. So this is obviously,
exactly.
one of the most popular videos Imru's ever done. It's about me. I mean, Of course. But anyway, so you go and you look. Where's the lemon here? Is this the lemon? Yeah.
Oh no, you guys want to talk about building a PC? Hold on. Let me show y'all some shit. Because I'm gonna be doing a PC streaming build with ABF very soon. I have like 2 parts left to buy. Hold on a sec. Oh. Shit's heavy. Hold on. We're gonna be doing a PC building grift stream soon, bro. We got all the parts, bro. Look at this. We got the RX 9070, baby. The RX 9070. Look, man, we got everything, baby. We got all the stuff. I just need to buy fans and a case. We got the power supply, bro. We've been doing it. Sometime in the very near future, PC building grift stream, because I'm gonna really need to pay this bitch back off. This shit's like gonna come out like $2,400. Holy fuck! Yeah, PC building grift stream is incoming. Hopefully the plan is to do it before the next 2 weeks, because ABF is going to fucking Egypt. And he and I would like to do it before he goes.
Blueberry, that raspberry. Like, this is like, I'm being attacked. But like, this was just like eating something that's nasty. Yeah, so like, that's not that big of a deal. You know what? I think we should try the lemon.
Bro, these things are...
In fact, I'm gonna show you guys... I'll show you right now the case. Like, I'm kind of splurging on the case. All right, I'm kind of splurging on the case, cause yeah, Paul mentioned Big Titty Anime and whatnot. Paul mentioned Big Titty Anime. I shouldn't be doing this. It's not gonna be worth the fucking money. But I'm going with the Freerin case, baby. I'm going with the Freerin case. Look at this. Star Force. This is Asmongold's company, actually. This is Asmongold's company. I'm going with the Freerin case. This will be the case for my PC. Look at this. This is going to be so fucking wild. Dog what? What are you saying dog what to? Me being a weeb? Is that what it is? Or if you're saying dog what about the Meta PC stuff, that case, man. I got mixed feelings. I'm a weeb, what can I say? I'm a weeb. I'm splurging on the case. Everything else, yeah. If you fuck the airflow, I'm gonna laugh my ass off. I'm not gonna fuck the airflow. I've done all the research. It'll be fine. And by it'll be fine, I mean ABF is gonna be walking me through it. They did not have a one-piece case. Nah. Dude. You should love that case, Tebow. You should love that case. That whole anime is about how demons are irredeemable, emotionless monsters that do nothing but manipulate humans, and our main girl kills them without prejudice. She's a straight-up demon racist. You should buy the disc plate and stick it on a decent case. No, I mean, maybe. I don't know about none of that, but... Glass front side equals horrible cooling. I don't know. Chibi Review doesn't seem to have any issue with the case. Chibi Review doesn't need to have any issue with that case.
Dangerous.
I'll give you a thin piece, Osmond.
Get ready.
This is for you, Jacob, and all your hard work.
This is not my idea. Oh, God.
What is he eating?
I might as well have just been eating cardboard.
What was that?
Not a problem at all. Put it as A.
What?
You're lying.
No.
If you're...
He likes sour shit.
See, she tried to call me out on this. She tried to say I was making shit up. and I was putting it on.
Eat another one.
But he likes sour shit.
What?
That's what his dad said. He said, you like that sour shit.
Yeah, that's normal. That's fine. Do you like? There's a lemon right there. That's a lemon. Lemon's good. And my vape juice is watermelon lime. I like lemon. I like lime. I don't like overly sweet shit. I think Asmongold has the correct take here. Absolutely the correct take.
I would put that shit in my body.
He did say that. Look at him.
It's good.
Look at him.
It's all right.
Holy shit.
Well, the thing is, like, most of the time, right, this is super acidic, right? What do I always drink?
More acid.
More acid.
I've literally drank so much acid that lemons taste like water to me.
Sounds about right. Lemons are good.
So, yeah.
Dude, my stream's so long. Like, I stream so long and, like, fucks my voice up and shit. I just drink straight lemon juice. Like, I just drink straight lemon juice, gargle it, swallow it, and, like, that's how I keep my voice fine. That's how I keep my voice. Dude, I smoke and drink, like, alcohol, and there's so much. I need to keep my throat good, and so I just drink straight up lemon juice. Asmongold is entirely correct here.
I'm fried, bro. I'm fucking fried. And so, yes, I'm adapted. Yes, it doesn't even bother me. Like, I remember so there was one time, and this is like another story. I saw that there was an image here, and I sent this to a friend of mine, and I was like, look at this. And then, of course, oh, by the way, she responded, the answer to the question was no, which is accurate, by the way. Let me go back, and I'll see if I can find this real quick. And where the fuck did it go? And, oh my God, okay, there it is. And I've got to find the image here. Okay. So I found this image the other day, and people were talking about me. Is there a single normal thing this guy does?
Hey, yo, shout out Deadly Hunter. Thanks for the sub, bud.
And I was really thinking about this because this really, I don't know why, but it just got inside my head. And I was like, well, I don't eat normal food. I don't live a normal life. I live in a weird house. I have a weird lifestyle. I wake up and go to bed at random times. Like, what do I do that's normal? Like, I'm basically not even a person. At this point, you have a normal penis. I'm circumcised. So, not really. Not really, actually. It's a good point. It's a good point. Not even that.
Ah, my content hurts.
Is there a single normal thing this guy does? You take a shit just like us? Well, yeah, I guess I do, right? You have to work regularly? Well, yeah, but that's not normal either. Most people work 5 days a week. I'm live every single day. And do you know what happens after I finish being live? I do other things after that. I do more things beyond that. I keep going. And so it's just more and more and more stuff. So I'm usually doing stuff that's involved in one way or another with like my, I hate to call it this. I hate to call it this. But with my job, right, I do things that are involved in my job on a very, very, very regular basis. I do. And so that's just how it is. And yeah, you're basically an evolved Digimon, exactly. And doesn't shit? Yeah, I guess so, right? And no girlfriend? Well, I think that's...
No kidding, Timo.
I'm kind of a bit old for that, right? I mean, I don't know. My question is, why would he share this? Asmon Roach, this is it. Ice cream as a reward for being good.
I mean, what do you mean, why would he share this? Why not? Why wouldn't you share this? Like, the information age is all about authenticity being currency. Why wouldn't you share this?
Yeah, what's wrong with that? I had it last night. And 50% of this guy's daily diet is candid. He is the first Chud keyboard elf. I don't know what that is, but okay. And it makes you wonder at this point we can call Asmon a modern urban aesthetic or a hermit. Well, I don't know about this. It's not going to lie, it's me. And diabetes and every immune this is fake. It's fake. It's all fake. It's all fake. It's a fat girl coping. Just a fat girl coping.
No,
that's all there is to it.
Gross.
Fake neats and incels and femcells when...
That is actually what would make me support the New York mayor, though. Like Mamdani, if Mamdani, like, introduced a no fat bitches rule, I'd be like, all right, I don't care if you're a Muslim, it's based. I'll vote for you. You want to tax everybody into oblivion? You want to make the state control the welfare and whatnot? That's all fine. As long as there are no fat women, then it's totally fine. That's how you get the the conservative or right wing or libertarian or whatever male to vote for your socialist ass. You ban fat women.
Asman comes up to them. Yeah. See, people don't know what it's really like, you know? And that's it. Beef jerky, too? Do you work out, too? Your calorie intake must be insane. I exercise semi-regularly. I mean, do I really work out and do it a whole lot? I mean, not really. I mean, I'm you know, I try to exercise and do stuff, but I'm not, like, extremely into it. But, yeah, of course, I try to stay fit whenever I can be. But nothing crazy. I mean, I don't work out and go to the gym or anything like that. But, yeah. And so, yeah, it's playing it up. Why make yourself look like disgusting? There's so many people that get mad about this. But, yes, this is another clip that has now gone viral about me. This guy's going to die at like 50, Jesus Christ. Well, hey, 50 is a pretty good number, isn't it?
Good. Good, dude. Nah. Die at 50. That's fine. Die in your prime. Die a little after your prime. Don't live to be some decrepit 86-year-old dude with knees that don't work and not being able to get a boner and shit and just remembering the fucking glory days. Dude, go out at 50 like a fucking champ. I plan on fucking blowing my brains out in a Wendy's parking lot and giving those boys a show, dude. All the little kids are sitting in there with their grandparents eating a fucking Baconator and shit. They're gonna learn what the secret sauce is, son.
And as a reward for being good, yeah, broski, you aren't rewarding yourself. You're just further placing yourself into renal failure. What is renal failure? I don't even know what that is. It's probably fake. And diabetes. Yeah, right. Get out of here.
I love how you guys can't tell if I'm joking or not.
After my knees. What happened? What's supposed to happen to you? No, that's more hog logic. Fat people have problems with their knees because it's hard for them to carry so much weight. So for me, I don't have problems with my knees because I don't have to carry all that weight. You know, that's it. Rectal failure? Yeah, I mean, maybe you could say that. God, they're demanding. Yes, exactly. That's more hog logic. Wait till you're 40. People said wait till you're 20 whenever I was a teenager. People said wait till you're 30 whenever I was 20. People said...
Now, I will say, I got issues with my knees. I do. Like, because I don't stretch. Stretching's gay, dude. Like, stretching is for women and gay dudes. So I don't stretch. So, like, my knees hurt like a motherfucker. And I sit on my knees 9 times. Today, I'm sitting normal because my knees are hurting. But normally, I sit up on my foot, and my knees are all bent. My knees are fucked, and that shit sucks. But beyond that, I'm good. I don't have a lot of issues in my 30s.
Wait till you're 40, and now I'm 35. And, you know, again, eventually, it will get me. Eventually, I will be God. But that day is not today. That is not today. And so, yeah, wait till your 80s. You're going to see now, right? Same here, bro? Yeah, I guess so, right? Wait till you're 103. You're going to see. If you don't lose it, you lose it. You don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah, exactly,
Is that right?
Tebow. Exactly.
But, yeah, I probably should exercise more, to be honest, as a reward for being good. Yes. And, wow. And, oh, my God. How is he not fat with rotting teeth?
Well, his teeth are fake. You can't rot fake teeth.
Who's going to tell him? So yeah, every streamer is doing everything to shorten their lifespan, so and they still hang on way too long. This is honestly, whenever I was a little kid,
you're goddamn right. They
actually,
didn't.
I never forgot this. There it is, boys.
See, that's the dream. That's the dream, guys. I don't know how anyone, but people hate on Asmongold. People hate on Asmongold because he's living the dream. That's what it is. It's a level of aspiration. Speaking of a level of aspiration, I'm aspiring to end this stream so I can play some fucking video games. And there's 50 of you watching. So let's figure out who we're going to raid. Let's figure out who we're going to raid. We've been going for almost 4 hours. Let's figure out who we're going to raid. Oh yeah, also I got a video coming out in 10 minutes. Talking about the Hassan Piker, getting straight up humiliated in Mamdani's shit yesterday. That was awesome. That was hilarious. So if you guys want to watch my video coming out in 10 minutes, that'd be awesome. But let's go ahead and see who's live. I'll be a good person to raid someone. Let's see. Tom B, J Viper. Oh, Hypno. Hypno raids me all the time. We're gonna raid Hypno. He raids me all the time. Alright, dude. We outie like 4 circles. Been a great show. I have a video coming out in 10 minutes. Make sure to watch it. For those of you that donated, thank you so much. It means the absolute world to me. It's the only reason I get to keep doing this is because of you guys. Neon Leon tomorrow. Videos all day, every day. Check out the gaming channel if you haven't. I've been sporadically streaming. I'll start putting videos on that. Me and Cindy do streams. I do solo streams. But yeah, I have been doing some gaming. So yep, until next time, it's all here in the Nerdosphere. Get into Hypno Stream, type Vital Idol Raid, and I'll see y'all on the flip-flop.